Hey, everybody, welcome to another live episode of Outlaw Nation here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. Nice to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us live right now. For those of you who are watching us later, thank you for downloading this program. And if you're listening to us on the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network, thank you so much for downloading that episode as well. Well, we got ourselves a hell of an episode today. A barn burner, one might say. Who knows where this is going to go? So much to talk about, so much to cover here with my friend of almost over 20 years, I would say, hanging and banging, as I said before, with MIke Kalinowski. He's done so many things. We've been through so many journeys that are kind of similar as, first of all, as actors over at Florida State, and then coming out into LA and trying to make it here in LA, both working at Universal Studios, Mike, longer than I have. And then, of course, both finding our ways into the Schmoedown at separate times as well. And we developed a friendly rivalry, at times a heated rivalry with all the things we've done. But I'm excited to have him on the show. Before we start, though, I want to tell you all, first of all, please subscribe to the Outlaw Nation down there below on the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe. Get us marching closer to 15,000 subscribers, then heading towards 20,000 as well. And also, don't forget that we got so much great programming here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Tomorrow, live at 2 p.m., we're doing Game Time. We usually do it on Mondays. We had to move some things around, and it's live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Doing Game Time there. Jen Sturger, and Winston Marshall join me for that. And then, of course, later on in the week, Strong Style, little pro wrestling stuff going on. And, of course, Mornings with the Outlaw with Alex Shawshak. We just did a Monday episode. We're going to do a Friday episode. There are no more Wednesdays episodes. I need a morning to breathe. And so we took them off on Wednesday. Also, for those of you who are patrons of the Outlaw Nation show, we already dropped that Ask the Outlaw show that dropped. The Criterion Corner, I'm going to make that public tomorrow morning for people to enjoy, so you can see how I break down My Darling Clementine, the OK Corral film with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday that stars Henry Fonda and Victor Mature. We're going to talk about. I'm going to leave that drop that for everybody to enjoy. And also, if you're a patron, you get first dibs in coming in live to ask me and Kalinowski any question that's on your mind, and any question you want to ask us about life, about movies, about the Schmoedown, about whatever you want to talk about. We're going to do it all here on the Outlaw Nation show. So thank you again for joining us live, and let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of my dear friends, a guy that I've had many conversations with about the world, about movies. We've done many trips down to Comic-Con together. We shared rooms together in Comic-Con. We've done so many things together, and we've also had epic battles in the ring for Schmoedown titles. And also, we just kind of are good friends overall. And I'm excited to talk with this man. He's the host, one of the hosts of DC Movie News. He's got a very strong internet account, or Twitter account rather, which you can't keep MIke Kalinowski down. He created a whole new one after they told him he couldn't have the one he had before. And of course, he is with one of the, not one of, but the queen of the Schmoedown herself, Shannon Barney. So he's going to talk to us about all of that and about corruption and everything else going on. Michael Keaton, Zack Snyder Justice League. So much to talk about. We're going to get to it all right now. Without further ado, please welcome one of my dear friends and one of the best guys you're ever going to get to know, and one of the fiercest competitors in the Schmoedown ever. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Outlaw Nation show, MIke Kalinowski. How are you, man?
Friend, oh my gosh, an intro there. Jesus, that's a first I wanted to come in guns blazing. I felt like we're coming down at the OK Corral here, you and I. But then you wore my heart there, man. And then I get the ups and downs, thinking Comic-Con, we're not going to do that this year. My heart's broken. God, that's an emotion. I got an emotional roller coaster right there, buddy.
Well, and that's just the beginning of the show, man.
Man, God, here we go.
Here we go.
I got to settle in here. Woo.
Hello.
Hey.
You're coming in a little pixelated. Or is it your internet? Is this the way it's going to go, or how is it something else?
I think I should. Well,
yeah,
I got my Ethernet cable plugged in.
Okay, Wiley, does he look a little? Yeah, right. Does he look a little pixelated?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Am I causing problems?
Let me have you come back. Let me have you exit out and then come back in, and we'll see if maybe that's the problem. So go all the way to StreamYard and then come back in, and I'll bring you right in.
All right, sounds good. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's not your fault, dude. Sometimes the terrible internet does that. So Mikey will be right back in. Yeah, thank you, Haskell. Already on top of it. Let's say hi to everybody who's waiting around. As soon as he comes back, we'll do it. Chris Hall, hello. Celia, what's going on? Jeremy Miller, Andrew Hale, good to see you, Andrew. How are you? Wiley Todd, hello, Wiley. I know you're out there producing the show in the behind the scenes. Michael Nip is in here as well. Chris Taylor, Calvin. Well, Calvin, good to see you. Eric Fredericks in here as well. Cole is a dreamer. Good to see you. Haskell, DGMC, what's going down? Jeremy Miller, good to see you. Skate 40 grass. Let's see if we got a better situation with Mike. There you go. That's a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit clearer. Good to go, man. Awesome.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
No, don't sweat it, bro. I know the internet is it's so weird. Well, let me just start off from the beginning here, Mike. How are you?
Yeah,
how are things going? You've been quarantining. You know, the Universal Studio situation is still kind of in flux. And are you about to compete? You're about to compete in the Schmoedown as well. Like, what's this been like for the last few months for you, man? Are you going insane, or are you figuring it out?
I'll tell you. It's been, I guess now it's over. Been 3 months since I was kind of. Universal said, "Hey, we're going to close for 2 weeks," and then like every 2 weeks was after that. Yeah. And then they finally furloughed us, so I'm furloughed. I guess that was the word. Right. And I'm the kind of guy. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of guy. Like even when I have a day off, I can't sit home. Yeah. So from the beginning, Shannon was like, "Oh, this is going to be tough for you to just sit home, not be able to go anywhere." I'll tell you though. Yeah. After about 3 weeks, I settled into it quite nicely, and now I like to think of this as I'm retired right now. I'm retired. That's how I'm looking at the quarantine. I'm retired. Hey, man, I'm furloughed, and things are, that's what it is. I mean, you can't do anything. I'm not one of these people that's, but being that I work in a theme park, I'm not rushing to get back. I mean, right. I know Universal in Orlando has kind of done that, but now they're spiking up, and right. So and it's not from the lack of the company itself, because I'm sure I've seen all the protocols that they're trying to do and implement for what we're going to be dealing with coming back, but it's the guests. I see Orlando, people are getting spit on. They don't want to wear their masks. Really? People are getting spit on? Yeah, because here's the thing that they're saying, because when you're on property, you have to wear the mask unless you're eating. So now guests are walking around with food in their hand saying, well, I'm eating. I don't need the mask. So they've already, entitled people feel that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready to get back to that. We've been very fortunate. All of our Shannon works, she's a nurse, so her job is a little more dangerous, I guess. But we've been good. We've been lucky. None of our friends in our group have gotten anything. The Schoedown's been able to kind of continue on its own. So, I mean, man, there's no answer for this right now. There's no cure. There's not going to be one. Right. But I don't know, man. It's, It doesn't mean the news stops happening, though, Mike. I mean, over the last 3-4 weeks, like as a DC movie, this must be you must be in heaven right now. The Zack Snyder Justice League and Michael Keaton. Like, talk to me. There was a time it was like because I had been and I felt bad on DC because I had not been able to be in there. Like Friday, I was given that was like one of my scheduled days. Right. I was contracted, so I was very in and out. Quarantine happens. I was there every Friday, and then we didn't have news for like a month. And then it was a floodgate, my friend. You saw it happen. And I was just like, holy, what a great time to be here. Talking ad nauseum at DC. Like, it's insane. And what sucks is the fact that our group has not been able to get together. You, me, and the boys, the Geek Buddies and everything. Yeah. We all are, that's our group. We can't get together. We can't go out for drinks and talk about this stuff. So it's just like, it's kind of been me spitting in an echo chamber. To myself, I was like, well, I can't talk. Michael Keaton, I was around. I can't talk to anybody. So I'm like, but it's insane, man. Like, as far as the Snyder Cut, I was always let's talk about. Like, I could not. I was never one of those people that said, no, there is no Snyder Cut. There is no Snyder Cut. I was always like, my mind was always like, this is going to be the Donner Cut. 20 years from now, we'll get this. Right. But that was kind of my thoughts. Like, there's no way they didn't shoot this footage that they have. Right. I didn't think they had like a finished thing done, but I was just like, 20 years from now, we'll get this, and there won't be like, there won't be this massive fan swelling for it, but we'll get it. Yeah. So I didn't see this. And then there was more talk, when the HBO Max, and I was just like, maybe, but now, you read all the stories and how it was like this perfect storm of, HBO came in and said, okay, what would it take for this? I guess so, it was either WB or HBO. Someone had come into the position and they were like, what is this? I get every day I'm inundated with emails from people. Right. And they said, okay, it'll be this amount of money, and we're going to go with it. And I recently watched Justice League again, and you know, it's a fun movie. You know, it's what it was. You see two footprints in that film. You see two distinct films. But it kind of got me hyped. And he did that little cut the other day. What was it, 30 seconds of Gal walking around with Thanos, the Apocalypse there.
Close enough.
Apocalypse, you know, and all that stuff, and kind of the history of Apocalypse and stuff.
Right.
So I'm just kind of like, oh man, it's happening. It's happening. So I don't know what that, like, because we've seen so much, we've seen so many pictures, and there were people who were kind of sick of Snyder. Every now and then he'd be thrown up on Vero pictures from the film, and
right.
I didn't get too into it because I'm like, it's his film and he's allowed to do that. And you know, Ray Fisher's been one of the biggest proponents of that Snyder cut. Everyone else kind of walked off and kind of did their own thing, but he was always like, he got me my start. It was, you know, this and that, and but I couldn't get too hyped about pictures. It was cool because I just didn't know. You know, I mean, you know, I didn't know.
Momoa was the same way. Momoa has been 100% supportive of this whole situation. But Mike, you've got sources, you've got connections. Are you telling me that, no, because you get into these screenings, DC and WB, they know you're a big proponent of their stuff. You've got connections within that studio. Did you have no idea that this was like absolutely no clue? Oh wow,
no clue. And I don't know if because we've been shut down for a while, and the people that kind of run around in those things are kind of like, hey. Someone had said something like, but it was nothing that I could, with any validation. You know me, I hate those people that sit there. My sources say this, but I can't tell you anything. It's just like, well, what's that gonna do? Because you're gonna get clicks, and I don't. Yeah. You know, we're not a site with DC where it's like we're trying for that. It's. I had heard that there was a screening of something.
Oh wow!
But again, I didn't know what to mean with that. Like I don't. Right. You know me. We're kind of on the same page. I'm not going to throw out like, hey, well, I heard. I'm not going to tell you, but I heard someone said something. It's like, because then what does that mean? I'm like,
right. Yeah. Who does that serve other than you?
But
and your
now,
ego?
But like, what are we getting? Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it's like, check my Twitter every day, and I'll keep teasing you. But I'm like, I'm a fan first and foremost, man. You know that. It's like. I'm a fan, and I just, it's exciting. It's exciting that this guy gets to finish. Because that's the thing with Snyder for me. He's one of those directors that no one has ever said a bad thing about. Like when all of his actors, they love him. I mean, someone would be like, I see Michael Shannon, he seems like kind of, if he doesn't like you as a director, if you're doing it on a film and you don't know what you're doing, he's going to be the guy that's like calls you out on it. But Michael Shannon, just like, he loves Snyder. He had a blast doing the film.
Yeah.
He had nothing but nice things to say. Eisenberg says nothing nice things about him.
I know.
So it's nice to see this guy come back into his film, you know. And he did that. What did he do? He did it like a tweet, like coming, you know, the Justice League, or like kind of dismissing Josh Whedon's version of it, but not really. Right. But I guess it's two different films, and he hasn't seen that film. He says he hasn't seen Whedon's cut. So
that's what he claims, that he has not seen Whedon's cut. But I think he's got every right to not have seen that cut on his own. Because I mean, like, how many of us want to go back and watch someone else's version of our stuff, or finishing, especially if we've been quote unquote, I don't know, amicably let go or whatever. But like, you know, there was way more stuff going on behind the scenes.
Oh man, you know, it sucks that with his daughter passing. And what would have happened if that didn't happen? Was he still going to be taken off?
Yeah.
You know, and was it, then it could be a little more of a, you know, but it seems like, and you can probably attest to this, it seems like there was a big changing of the guard at WB, and all this kind of perfect storm stuff happened. Like, it seems maybe those old, you know, when Sujihara had the whole not harassment, it was like getting favors for that one actress girl, and that all kind of came out, and he was out the door, and Jeff Johns was gone then, and I had heard a lot of friction with Jeff Johns on set. Like, that's what I had heard. Again, it's not my place to say. I didn't know. I wasn't there. I'm not going to. I heard a lot of the actors were like, oh, yeah, no, we're Camp Snyder.
Yeah. So, well, also, the other thing about it, and some of the Snyder Cut people have been so like, see, we told you. Well, yes and no. Right. Yes, you did eventually get it right, but you didn't tell us there were going to be 3 regime changes before it actually happened. I mean, you can't discount that. So, yes, you were ultimately right, but not for the original reason that you thought you were going to be right. And I think that's where we have to find this kind of compromise amongst people who are excited that it's happening, and the people who said it wouldn't be happening because the old regime, there was no way that old regime was going to do it. The new regime, like you mentioned, Mike, in that THR report, they reached out to Zack. They said, what is this all about? They keep it's like so much. What is this all about? Let's explore this. And it took them a while. Yeah. And even Deborah said, like, we had to jump through a bunch of hoops to figure this out. And if it wasn't for HBO Max, we don't know if this would ever be happening. So
that's the thing. It's like, it's like, and it seems like this Snyder cut camps are two different people. There was that group. There was that great group that I remember. I didn't see them, but like right down the road, because I live right next to Warner Brothers. They were out there petitioning it, and they just were like, good natured. We want this film. And then there's a real kind of toxic that are like this, and it's in every fandom. We know that. It's like, we told you, and you didn't support it, so F you, and you don't get to watch this movie. It's just like, okay, that doesn't do anyone any good.
Right. You know? There's no
but there are those people that were so loyal and they've been going, like, it's got to be a victory for these people. It's like they were going for so long, and they didn't stop. And like Zack speaks very highly of those people, but I know he would not be appreciative of the people that are attacking fandoms.
Yeah,
like you didn't support. It's like, what was there to support? We didn't know. It's like
right.
You know, I'll say that. You know, I didn't think it was going to happen for 20 years. Right, 20 years. Yeah, if that.
Yeah,
and
like you
and
said,
we would have gotten.
You had no idea it was going to happen here. I think this is a better frame for both of us. You had no idea it was going to happen, and you were looking at it like, what? How is this possible? Right? How is this going to come about? And eventually, it did, but it took some time. And you're right. Like I had Sean O'Connell on from Cinema Blend, who's a big proponent of this, and we had a great conversation about it. And he said, like, yeah, this is something that took some time to happen, and now that it's happening, let's all get on board now and be happy that it's actually happening, rather than going after people who said it wasn't going to happen. You know, we've seen Roxy post some of the tough. Poor Roxy, man. I know she gets so much shit from some of the fans.
Her skin is so damn thick.
Yeah.
You know her. You know her very well. Some of the things that we get crap. We're guys, and it doesn't come as hard, and it just sucks. That toxic crap. Yeah. Like Roxy's a huge DC fan. She loves DC. Yeah. But she's allowed not to like. You know, it's like right. That's life. You know, and it's like if you're not all in on DC, you can't support this film. It's like that's crap. Like you and I argue night and day on BVS. Night and day. Absolutely. I love that movie. That movie. But just because someone doesn't like that movie doesn't mean they can't love Justice League. It's like, come on, man.
Right. And I mean,
but I'm excited, man.
And the thing is, I keep coming back to it too, Mike. First thing I watched on HBO Max, no lie, when I found that I could get it on my Xbox, I put on BVS because there's just this there's a fascination with this movie that I can't figure out. Every time I try to watch, I'm like, what's missing here? And it's almost like I have to go back. I'm almost driven to go back and watch it multiple times.
I'll tell you, man, because I'm going to die on this hill, buddy, and I know you're going to give me crap for it. It's like this to me, this film, and here we are 4 years later, it's still talked about constantly. That it is. I think this is the Blade Runner of our generation. Where
interesting.
That I've always said that just because, I mean, think back. I don't remember Blade Runner as a kid. It was a little bit before me at that point. But it took me years to get into Blade Runner because I heard how good it was. And I would try and pop it in. And I'd watch the unicorns flying around, the cut of unicorns. And I'm just like, it's Han Solo in the future. Why am I not liking this film? And I just could not. But I had to hit a certain age. And then now I can appreciate it. But now I know the history. I read this great book. I wish I could tell you the name of it. It was all in the making of it and all the different cuts.
Oh, yes, I have that book. It's a fantastic book.
Fascinating. And I love Blade Runner. I don't think I wouldn't say it's a great film. Like Blade Runner, the new one, 10 times. I think it's a much better film.
Yeah.
But you appreciate it. So I just think with BVS, the ultimate cut, not the because I watched the theatrical recently to jump back into IG, so because they don't do the kind of special editions. That theatrical cut, you're like, what's happening?
Yeah,
why are they doing
tough.
This? Oh, why? Yeah, it doesn't gel at all.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was like, because I remember coming out of it we were at the Grove. It was you, me, and Vogel. We're walking back, and McClung, and before we sat for dinner, and I remember saying, I was like, McClung and Vogel are going to hate this film. I go, Rocha, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, and you're not going to know why. It's like, you're going to be on the fence about it, and it's going to bug you. Because I knew you're right. I was like, I know you as a cinephile. I knew that there's stuff in there that you're really going to appreciate.
Because I love Zack. I love Zack.
I know you love Man of Steel, and there are certain things people cannot. And it's interesting because if you take BVS and let's say you released it, let's say there was no MCU.
Okay.
No MCU. Marvel and Feige didn't usher in a superhero shared universe that was true to the comics, true to the characters. The actors look like they were in the comics.
Yeah.
There was never any of that. We come off of, let's say, the Nolan films, but then they're like, all right, next film we're going to do is Man of Steel, then we're going to do BVS. I think it would have a much different reaction. I think it came out at a time when we're getting Civil War, which was this ultimate build-up to this. All the characters are right out of the comics, and it's awesome. It's fun. You know, I just think it would have had a different reception. It's kind of like, I look at a movie like Mystery Men, if you remember that film back in '99. That movie was so ahead of its time. If that movie would come out today, it would have been done gangbusters because they are so satirical of superheroes.
Yep.
But at that time, the superhero films were, Batman and Robin. So it was like, I just think it's I don't know. I would have loved to see Snyder's 5-film saga that he wanted.
I agree with you, Mike. When you read what he does or what he wants to do, what he wanted to do, rather, you get kind of excited because it sounds like a comic book. It sounds like a graphic novel, not just a comic book, a graphic novel, right?
Yeah. You're looking at like people, they love the Injustice video games. Because it's, Superman killing the Joker and then him creating this regime and it's the heroes versus the heroes. Yeah. And people love that. But if you just pick up Injustice, you don't have the history of all these characters. They go right into it. So Snyder said, you know what? I'm not giving you all these origins. We're putting you in the middle of this and we're going on this story. So it's so interesting to see people accept one thing in comic book form, but when it's the movies, they want a version of it. Yeah. And I think that's the Marvel version where it's like, it's true to the comics and it's awesome and it's great and we love it. Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's just Snyder did his own thing and it was not people's cup of tea.
But ultimately he won out because he's going to get to come back and do it, which is a miracle.
So it's like it's this perfect storm because we're kind of in this we don't have any Marvel films right now. And I was just thinking that the other day because I was like, you're doing studying crap, of course. Yeah. And I was like, what was the last film? I was like, oh, Spider-Man. Right. Almost a year ago. I was like, oh my gosh, we haven't had anything. And they're being pushed back. So it's like this perfect, and now this DC news is popping out and we're just like, holy crap. So it's a great kind of turn of events for DC.
Yeah. And let's jump into Michael Keaton. But first, let me remind everybody who's watching, listen, the Streamlabs are open. The Super Chats are open. Send your stuff in. Hell, I know I don't have a Schmoebot, but if you send a $20 donation, I guarantee you we'll do some kind of voice if you want. But send them in. Let us know what you think about everything that's happened with Justice League. We're about to get into Michael Keaton as well. And remember, ask the questions you want to ask. Let me get to a couple of them, Mike, real quick that have rolled through here.
Shoot away. Let's go.
Ralph Roy, he says, hey, Mike, just wanted to say thanks for your efforts and works in the Schmoedown. You are a legend in this game, and it's been a joy to see all the success you've had. You are definitely on my Mount Rushmore. Now go and take this IG tourney. Hashtag Mikey3 months. There you go, Mike.
Well, the old Mount Rushmore tourney. It's so funny. Like, people like to throw me that. I wouldn't put myself on the Mount Rushmore. Now, if there was Mount Rushmore of the different divisions, I should be the first face on that IG Mount Rushmore. We'll say that. But for me, the Mount Rushmore, it's Harloff, Ellis, you. It's like Riley and Merle. It's like they're both right there. It's like I put 5 guys because Harloff and Ellis, they created it. It's their thing. Right. You created the character, the heel. There was no character before. It was all just fun guys having fun, and there was character, of course. But you've changed the game with that. Riley is Riley. Riley is the heart of that. And then you got Merle, who's greatest of all time. I'll say it. I give crap where crap is due in character, but that guy is just, he's unstoppable. He's your partner. What he does. You know what he does.
He does.
So
and I want to take him down.
His legacy.
Yeah, I want to. But
do you?
The IG tournament is set up for you, Mike. It looks like a good draw for you. Not necessarily favorable, but certainly looks like a good draw for you. But not without its possible pitfalls. So You've got. How are you preparing for this? Oh no.
Let me tell you this, buddy. So I wasn't doing IG this year. I wasn't going to do it. I came off that embarrassing loss to Smets. My head was just done. I just couldn't take the knowledge anymore. The thought of watching another IG film, I was like, I'm not doing this. And then, you know, the match with the family came up, and I was like, let's focus on teams. Let's go for this.
Right.
Chance is hungry. He earns it. He deserved it. He's my partner. I got to help this. You know, let's do this. And it came through. We played a great game. Family played a great game.
Good match.
We came with that title. We're coming back for you guys. Was this going to be our fourth time now? Fourth.
Fourth time.
And then the world shuts down. The world's like, nope, you're done. You're not doing this. So then everything kind of stopped. And then there was talk we were going to do an IG tournament, but it wasn't for points.
Right.
It was just going to be to test the waters on all the streaming stuff. But it wasn't for points. I was like, I don't want to do that. Let the other kids play. Let them play. And then they said, well, okay, this is our world now. This is it. The Schmoedown's got to adapt. And Christian said, hey, let's do this tournament. And I saw the kids were in it. And then I was like, well, all right, you know, and in fact, talk about, you know, factions. We were last place. We were dead last. So I was like, I got to get us some points here. So I was like, let's jump back into studying. And then I don't know if it's Chance in his enthusiasm. You know, some of these new kids come in, the young kids, and you know how it is, and like Oyama and Parker, but also on the other hand, it rubs people the wrong way. I think.
Oh sure.
I think they take it as ego, and I don't. I think these are kids that are from the fan leagues that, you know, and they're young. Like you look at a Smets who's older, and he comes in, and there is that respect right off the bat.
Right.
And you know, Chandru and Oyama took a lot of flack for not being likable, but I just they were kids and they were playing with the big leagues, and they you know. To play like against you come and walk in the room and there's you and Merle and the guys that they've idolized for years, you know. So it goes like, oh, let's play, Chance, and it got me his love of the game, got me revitalized, and like I was like, you know, I'm not doing anything. Let's watch some movies, and I just fell back in love with it. And but now watching this tournament, 2 years ago we had an IG tournament. It's night and day now. These kids, man, I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, like just watching the play-in matches, I'm like, oh man, if I come into this, a former 2-time champion, and I get knocked out by one of these kids in the first round, this is all over for me. It's done. So it's like the pressure, man, and like Parker, you know, everyone's got him to win this thing.
Yeah.
But I see people like Hannah, man. Hannah's in there.
Yeah.
Goddard's good. Watching Goddard, I was like, damn, this kid made a mark this season. Holy crap.
Right.
Like you know how it is. Just in singles alone, these kids come in, and I'm like, God. But like, because people ask me in the chat, and she sits there, and she's like, "Are you ever going to retire?" And I said, "You know what? I'm going to be like Rocha. I'm never going to retire. You know, you could talk about retiring, Rocha. I know you, man. And Christian knows me. Like after Spectacular this past year, I was like, I'm done. I'm out. And he's like, No, you're not. You're going to take 2 days. You're going to be upset at yourself. You're going to be pissed off at home, and then you'll be back. And I don't mean maybe not competing, maybe managing.
Right.
You know, commissioner. Something about that. It's the Schmoedown has been so good to me and the fans are all over the world. And I love it, man. You know it, man. You and me, we compete. And I don't do sports, man. This is my sports, I guess.
Yeah, it's as close as you get.
But but watching these matches now and going at it, but I'm having fun with it. You know, it's. I mean, the good thing is I'm not working, so
right. So you've got
I got no excuse. I got no excuse.
Exactly,
yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Let's see. We got a couple more here that rolled through. Ralph Roy sent another one. He said, follow-up question, Mike. What do you have to say to all the doubters who claim that you're done in IG, that they don't believe you can come back from your loss in Spectacular, and that people of you losing to the likes of Alba and Zipper shut them up? But is Ralph someone you paid to come and ask these questions? I don't understand these.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
You're washed up. Who is saying this ridiculousness?
I go in the. There's one Schmoedown. There's one competitor. I'm not going to call them out. One fan. They're a big fan of you. They love you. Holy Jesus. They love you. But anytime my name comes up, I'm just in the mud. Of course, there's the washed up. You got it last year, buddy. Come on
please.
Now, man.
I get it all the time, man.
God, listening to your promo backstage at Orlando, I was like, oh, God, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Holy. Hearing that audience go to you guys, I was like backstage with Chance. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. And that whole match, him and I are leaning over. He goes like, oh, we're in trouble here, buddy. Because that's what happens when you're down, you know. That's when the chips are down, man. When the chips are down, you either send it packing, which we've seen people do, or you buckle down and you come at it, you know. And I have my work cut out for me. I don't watching Alba play and watching those play-ins and Zipper Like Zipper's hungry, man. That kid's good, and not just in IG, he's great in singles. So it's like he's a great competitor.
Yeah.
I mean, when the right, yeah, and you know me, I got a lot of flack from you guys as the brackets and stuff. And hey, it happens. It's a seeded tournament, and I was top player, and Alba would be, I guess, the bottom, and Chance and I, and like you guys with Emily Rose, and because you guys had two people on the same side, that's not fair.
Right.
You split it up.
Yeah.
And where I fell, this was just my bracket, and but at first I'm like, yeah, I do have the easy side, but then I look at it and I see how they're playing. They got Damon coming in. Holy crap!
Yeah.
This kid, man, Jesus. So it's like I can't sleep.
No, you can't. I mean, there's as much you want to look.
I mean, think about it. This kid, if I play, if it comes down and he keeps winning, and if I win, and I end up playing him, if he spins Star Wars round 2, because he's going to have 1 Star Wars round 1. He'll have 5 Star Wars questions in round 2. So that's 6 Star Wars questions that he's guaranteed 11 points right there. Mm-hmm. And then if his 5 is a Star Wars question, that's what? 11, 16 points. Yeah, half is your match right there. He's guaranteed 16 points,
true.
that kid.
It's true.
So, and now Lord of the Rings, he's graded too. So it's like this. But on the other hand, my friend, hey, lands on DC. Yeah. Different story. Look, we're tied up. So
this is where your experience comes into play, right? Because you can mess with that kid and kind of like he thinks he's gonna land a blow, or he thinks he's got you down, and you just kind of boom, boom, boom. And yes, he's a champion, but he's a champion in Star Wars, not a champion in IG, where he may have more doubt once he gets into the weeds of things. And I think everyone's got to have one of those matches in a tournament. You knock down, drag out, weeds match where you find a way to win somehow, and those matter.
Yeah. I'm hoping he keeps going. I'm hoping I'm doing great. God, I would love it. I would love to see Chance. I mean, Chance has got the tougher road. That Parker match is going to be. I mean, if he gets the Parker, if he gets the guy, if he beats, I mean, I'm thinking ahead. Like for my guy Chance, I'm like, I want him winning it. So I'm like, he's got Oyama, he's got Parker, he's got and then the 4 other players that you've got.
If Chance gets past
a Barbarian,
that's here. I am jumping already around. Yeah, Chance has to get past Oyama first, then figure out where
I got my boy. I got to show faith to him.
I know.
But because it's funny because he's not the favorite in that match. I don't think, because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at the poll. I was watching the poll the other day, and I think he is like neck and neck with Oyama. So I'm like, I can't say that Oyama's going to win because it's my buddy. But I don't know, man. I don't know how it goes. I
think he's the favorite because he's a former title holder in terms of singles, and and he's beaten Chance a couple of times. And so,
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Chance is the favorite. I was like, no, I think Oyama's the favorite.
Yeah, Oyama
beat him in singles.
Yeah, Oyama.
And he's beat him in singles, and I don't think Oyama was in that 5-way that Chance had.
No, I don't think he was.
His only IG match. I think Hannah beat him.
Yeah. One of his rare victories.
Man. But the good thing, the cool, I don't know if it's a cool thing. They're buddies. The two of them are great friends, and I know they're talking back and forth leading up to the match and stuff. So I'm just kind of like, are you egging him on? Are you trying to give him questions? Like, don't do that. Like Smets and I will do that all the time. Smets and I are constantly throwing questions to each other. And if I get him on a question, if I sit there and I stump him, he has to give me one. Because God forbid he wins a match on a question that I gave him the answer to. Forget it. Forget it. Or just texted before this match and he's like, oh man, I got these birds outside. They're like the Crayborn from Dunlin from Two Towers. And I typed it out and he goes, oh, it's not spelled like that. It's spelled like this. And I'm like, oof. So we I know that's how Paul and him are. So I got my faith on my boy. But if he beats him, then he faces Parker and Goddard that's another one. I'm like,
I
don't have to worry about it. That's the thing, buddy. I don't have to worry about that side of the bracket. What happens?
Let them eat each other. You'll meet them at the end. That's right.
I'll see you on the other side because I tell people, ask me how I'm feeling about Parker. They jump to Parker right away. Right. And of course, I jump to Chance right away. I don't even think about Oyama. I don't think about Parker. I don't think about Barbarian. I don't think about
Goddard,
Humphrey. I don't think about that. I think Parker. I think Chance. Chance is winning it in my head.
Yeah.
So I just assume he's going to be on that side. And if to play him and I, if it's him and I, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's goal. That's goal for our team.
I want to be front row for that one.
But the thing is, if I lose to him,
Oh,
but let me tell you this, because you know how that is, my friend.
Yeah.
There's nothing better for a mentor for his protege to surpass him. So if he were to surpass me and beat me, I would be in his corner championing him and help him study.
Yeah.
So he's a good kid.
This is one of the reasons why I have to beat Ethan. I gotta know one more time if I can take the GOAT down. Like if I can beat the GOAT twice in my career.
You mean Dan, right?
Yeah, Dan. If I can,
you said Ethan by accident. I'm sorry.
You know, Ethan, I've never beaten Ethan, so that's another reason why I really want to win here.
Yeah,
I want to beat him so that I can play Dan, and if Dan and I play, it's like finally friends going against each other for that belt.
Right.
It would be incredible for 5 rounds to see if I'm if I'm as good as he is once and for all in my mind. Would be incredible. So, you know, you never know. You never know.
That's a barn burner, man. Holy crap. I mean, I remember watching Bateman and him. And my God, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
The back and forth thing, because it looked like Bateman had him the whole match, and then back and forth. And then Bateman came, and I was like, oh, Bateman's got him. Those are the best matches. The best matches, man.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
I was talking in between rounds. I'm like, this is okay. It's just
I got the drama behind the scenes as well. Who's managing who and all this crap. I love it. And I just sat back like this.
Let them eat themselves.
Let them have fun over there.
All right, we got 2 more that came in. We had a super chat that came through from the Schmo Way. He said, here for my 2 favorite competitors of all time. Thank you.
Buddy,
appreciate that. Alex O'Neill donated. Thank you, Alex. Very kind donation. With Michael Keaton potentially returning for Batman, should they look to get Bale and other variants back for a multi-universe scene a la the Spider-Verse? Yeah, it's an interesting question. A lot of people are asking, Mike, because the rumors are that they're going to bring Keaton back as kind of like this older counsel for multiple movies. So what do you see him being here in this if he comes back to WB? Do you like, first of all, do you like this coming back? And second of all, what do you anticipate his role will be?
Man, let's jump into this, dude. Because yesterday morning it was like the 1-2 gut punch. We had Schumacher passing,
right,
and then the Keaton. And I had stepped away from my phone after the Schumacher stuff because I was doing something. I came back, and that's the cool thing about like my Twitter followers. It's like they know it's DC. So anything DC, I just get like these 20+ notifications, and I was just like, what is this? What? and I'm just like, my mind. So the more I kind of, because my first go to with all that is like, okay, who posted it? Mm-hmm. Is it one of these crap clickbait sites? But then I was like, oh no, it's the rap. It's Umberto's up there posting it. I'm like, oh, this is serious. This is real. And then the more I read about it, I'm like, oh man, because there was that talk that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to be in this film, Flashpoint, and they were as a Thomas Wayne. But then it's Keaton, and they're saying it's him, it's his Bruce Wayne, it's the Tim Burton version of this. Yeah. And then there was a great talk of where it's like he's going to be the mentor type.
Right.
And I'm like, well, and then all these pieces started clicking in because I was like, and someone tweeted it out. I forget who it was. It was someone in our kind of world, and they're like, WB has a plan. And I think after a while, I think WB finally, because you can't have a DC without a Batman. And from what we know of Pattinson, it is separate. It is I don't want to say it's like a Joker thing, but I have a feeling that's what it's going to be. It is going to be a Joker-ish. It's there, but we're not in this world. But that still leaves a Batman. We know Affleck's not coming back. There were these stories, you saw those, buddy, right? Where they're like, HBO wants Affleck back. I was like, that ain't coming. That ain't happening. I'll stand on this mountain. I won't stand on the Snyder Cut mountain, but on this one, I was like, he ain't coming back. That man's health, his personal life, he is done. He ain't stepping back in that at all. Maybe
not even for reshoots. You don't think he'll even show up for reshoots?
No, maybe for that. But I'm just saying, like another film.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, reshoots. I wouldn't put it past him. Or to direct, maybe down the line. I wouldn't say no to that. I would not. But as him in the suit, so I think W is like, well, we got to have a Batman,
right?
And do you remember? Because now puzzle pieces are starting to come in. Back when Ezra Miller jumped in the CW Flash crossover.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like no one knew about this. No one knew about this. Right. And then the stories came up, and like Guggenheim was like, we didn't write this. We didn't try and get him. Yeah. The film people said, hey, we've got Ezra. Can you make this work? Mm-hmm. And that to me was like, why would they be so into that? They're having a hard time getting the Flash movie going. Why would the film people? Because it's always been, Arrow has seen this problem forever with the Suicide Squad, with Harley Quinn. They're like, nope, can't use them. Right. Can't use Ted. You can't use Booster Gold. We're all these films. No, you can't use these characters. And CW's like, all right, what can we do? Yeah. So, but now because they always had film plans, but they're the film people coming to TV going, hey, put Ezra Miller in this to show that these worlds all exist.
Right.
And now it makes so much sense. They were building that multiverse, and the film were like, hey, we can either reset. I don't know if they thought about Keaton, but that gets Keaton in. I mean, you think about, let's say people are done with let's say DC's done. I'm sick of DC. I'm sick of them screwing it up. Right. What would bring people back to DC? Michael Keaton is Batman.
Yep.
Like, you do a Dark Knight Returns with him. You bring him in back into the suit, continuing what was done 31 years ago. You're gangbusters. So yeah. I think pieces are trying. I think contracts are being worked out. I think that whoever said like he's a Nick Fury type training these younger characters. Yeah. I mean, the thought. I mean, like I was all day. I was like, man, if we can get like Anton First, his design of he's not around anymore, but that design of Gotham, and we see that, and he comes back. I'm like, oh man, like what this opens up.
Right. The other thing, Mike, if you think of Kingdom Come, he never puts the he is always just there negotiating what's going on because he's always the smartest person in the room.
Right.
So you could kind of bring Keaton back, but Keaton is that Bruce Wayne from Kingdom Come,
right?
Dealing with whatever's happening and making sure everybody's on point, and maybe even having a little bit of a back and forth. If you have Cavill in this thing or whatever Superman you bring on,
you say, can you imagine a Cavill and him, like, and the fact that he knows what Cavill would eventually be. But he doesn't want to tell him all this,
right?
And the fact, like, and like I think you tweeted out this morning about Nicholson, get Nicholson back, throw him in there for a scene.
Yeah,
like that would be I mean, Batman is like DC's print money ticket. Like that works regardless. I mean, I don't want to like Keaton to me. Like for the longest time, he seemed like don't bring up Batman. I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
For years, and then there was a change, and I don't know if it was around Birdman. And maybe because that was kind of, kind of like a cleansing for him, and it was kind of a cathartic, it seemed. And then he did that one commencement speech where he's like, "I am Batman." Like he just comes out there, and now he embraces it. When anyone talks about it, it's like, I don't care. I'm Batman. Affleck's doing it cool. I'm Batman too. Like now he embraces this and embraces the fandom, because there was a while he really seemed kind of put off by Batman. He wanted to either do stuff, and I get that, I get it, but he's for a generation. I mean, I just kind of talked about it today a little bit. It's like he's my Batman. He's that movie for you. You remember now. It's so funny because so many of our friends and followers and Twitter fans, I talked to one guy. We were talking about Batman Forever, and he's like, "Oh man, Mike, I was born the day that Batman Forever came out," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I feel old. Oh my god." He's like, "How old were you, Mike?" I'm like, "I don't want to say. I was getting ready to go into college."
Let's just say I was alive. Let's just move on.
But you and I remember, like,
Batman
'89, that summer, like the symbol was everywhere, the merchandise was everywhere. It was everything. Like, and not just kids, not just comic book people. That movie got everyone. My parents went to it. My parents were like, and Jack Nicholson, they were in love with him with that film. So it was just like, it's funny. People look back on that now, and I guess people say it doesn't age very well. I don't agree. It works for me. It's funny. Like, how do you feel about Batman Returns?
I like Batman Returns because of Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I can take or leave Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I think physically he's got the right look for the Tim Burton version of the Penguin, right?
Right. Yeah.
But overall, I wasn't 100% on board with his. But Michelle Pfeiffer is next level with that version of Catwoman.
Oh man.
And she brings Keaton even more to life as Batman and Bruce Wayne in that movie in a way that Kim Basinger's role did not do in the first Batman. And look, nothing against Kim Basinger. She's an Oscar-winning actress. I think the way that the role was written didn't do her any favors. Whereas the way Catwoman is written, she's a lot more in charge of her world and out for what she becomes, Catwoman. And so it's a more interesting and fun movie. I think Batman is fun for every scene with him and the Joker. Every scene without him, like Robert Wool, I get out of here, and Basinger's role, you can get out of here because you don't. She's a war photographer, and all of a sudden she's going to scream because the guy's wearing clown makeup. Like that is the problem I have. Is I think she should have been a tougher character. But it's it's the 80s. They didn't necessarily do that with those films.
Yeah, it's so funny because I know people love Returns, and I do enjoy it as a good Christmas movie.
Right.
But it's so not a Batman film, and it's so much into like his Batcave was ridiculous looking. It's like I just there's so much design wise I don't care for in that film.
Right.
I just have such a great affinity for Batman, like the matte paintings and everything, and the Batcave design. I just, and again, Keaton's 5'9", so he's not really Batman, like size wise, but like that whole scene in Axis Chemicals at the beginning of the film was just so awesome to me. Like for me, my big thing, and again, I guess this is why of the Nolan trilogy, and I'll die on this hill, man. Another hill I'm going to die on. I think Begins is the best of the trilogy because the first one. Because and the fact that like for Dark Knight, and I can hear, I don't know, I'm going to get crap for this. I know, here it comes. If you take the suit out of it, a Batman, his suit, it's a crime movie, and I think Batman: The Dark Knight is a fantastic film. It's not a fantastic Batman film.
I know you feel it, but I respect your opinion. Yeah.
Like, and the fact that like Gotham City is Chicago, and they didn't try and change anything. True. Like for me, Gotham has got to be a character. It's as much a character as Commissioner Gordon or Alfred or the Penguin. It is a living, breathing. And I remember, I think it was in the script of Batman, the first one, 89. It says, if hell erupted from the sidewalk and kept on growing, and there was no city planning in the city. Like that to me is like you just walk and you feel danger, like you're gonna get mugged around every single corner. That's got to be. There's got to be a reason for a Batman. And, and like I love Batman Begins because an hour into that film, you don't see that suit and you don't care. Right. You don't care. You don't see that suit for an hour.
That's true.
And because he's so damn compelling, his Bruce Wayne and his journey. So yeah.
Talk to me about whether you'd want to see Michelle Pfeiffer come back as an older.
Are you kidding me?
So like a Selena Kyle from another dimension. I mean, because Ryan Kramer's pointing this out that there was a newspaper in CW Crisis showing a picture of Keaton as Bruce Wayne, saying that he was engaged to Selena Kyle, who would presumably be Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, that's a great point you bring up, Ryan.
Absolutely. Dude, I mean, look at her in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, she's still got it. She still looks great. Would she still be Catwoman? Probably not, because he's probably not in the suit. He's probably, like you said, a Kingdom Come version.
Right.
Because what's Keaton? He's got to be like
7.
Is he 7? Almost 70? But did you see American Assassin 3 years ago? The Dylan Bryan. I mean, people talk about. I mean, I watched that movie. That's Batman Beyond right there. You got a young kid and an old mentor. He was great in that movie. Handles action well. He's got that grizzled look. He's great. He's going to be great. Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean, you have them be married. Oh my God, are you kidding me? You have him like not wanting to train these kids. She's like, no, you got to do it. Remember what happened with Dick and Jason and Tim. Dude. This is the new generation. You need these kids. Or you have a young Dick Grayson in there's like, Bruce, what are you doing? You're going to ruin more kids' lives? It's insane to me what we could get.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think. A lot of people took flack at the fact that we got a 20-year-old, 20 years in Gotham Affleck. Yeah. We saw the Robin suit, like, we missed these stories. And I was kind of on board, and I get why people didn't like that. I get they wanted those stories. Yeah. And me as a comic fan, I was like, well, I know the story. I don't need to see it. But it's just different because we know Keaton was at Batman 31 years ago. So we know in that time, it's a different thing. So I could see where some people will come at people like, well, you didn't like Affleck jumping 20 years, but you're going to like Keaton jumping 31 years. It's like, it's not the same. We
already had Keaton versus
he's there.
Affleck and before he showed.
Yeah, man. It's the Pandora's box that they're opening with this that could be so damn good, man. It really, and it solves their problem. Whoever came up with this idea to get a Batman, because you need a Batman, and you can't have a DCEU without a Batman. We've got Pattinson's thing, and I'm on board with that. But to try and shoehorn that into what's current, and it's not the same time, you're like, all right. But the multiverse is there, man, because Pattinson's Batman could be a multiverse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, do you get Bale too? I mean, look, for God's sakes, if you have a Ben Affleck Batman, a Michael Keaton Batman, and Bale in some kind of like multiverse situation, I don't know. It would be fascinating. It'd be tough to pull off, but it would be fascinating.
And Bale is even like, he's never ever ruled it out.
No, he never has.
He said like, I had a great time. I think, I don't know if I could be wrong. I think he's always said if Nolan came back, he would come back.
That's his caveat is Nolan.
Yeah. So, but I recently watched Into the Spider-Verse, and I'll be honest, that film, when I first saw it, I think the animation kind of threw me off a little bit. It seemed blurry to me, and I didn't know that's what they were going for. So it kind of took me off for about 20 minutes into the film. But that's a film on every single rewatch, I fall more and more in love with that film. Yeah. It is just so damn well done. You take Spider-Ham, anime version of Spider-Man, and you put them all together and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. I don't know. It could work. They've established this multiverse now.
I don't disagree with you, brother.
So yeah,
let's move on to some more of these, man. Before
all right,
we get swamped up with them, let's see here. We got Drunken Prayer. He says, big fan of both of you. I can't join in StreamYard tonight, but since you're both big DC fans, what non-mainstream, for example, Elseworlds or Vertigo DC story would you like to see adapted for the big screen? So which non-mainstream DC comic book, like Elseworlds or Vertigo, what would you want to see on the big screen?
So you're talking like for me, the big character, and he's kind of mainstream, but he's also been in the fringes, is The Question. I think The Question would be such a great. That's a TV show. I mean, that's an HBO Max show right there.
Yep.
I gotta say this, buddy, because you're gonna give me crap for this.
Okay.
I did not watch Watchmen originally when it came out. I didn't have HBO.
Okay.
And I didn't want to wait episode. I wanted to binge it. And then I saw that it was going to be released on Blu-ray. And I'm a big kind of physical media guy. So I was like, I'll wait. Right. But then HBO Max, I got it, and it was on there. I've finally been able to sit down and watch it. And I don't know if it benefited me to watch it now. Yeah. But what is going on in our world in that show? It is like Damon Lindelof was a damn soothsayer. I'm like, holy crap.
Prescient as
hell.
Oh
my God. Like, not even, what did it come out? Like 4 months ago? Right. It was right. Like in January, February, I think. Oh my God. Like our world has changed. And this is exactly that scene where they're going to Nixonville and they're like, all right, come on with us or we're coming in there and get you out. It's like, holy crap.
Well, what's incredible too about that, Mike, is that you're looking at that show and you're going, oh, wow, this show is really putting its balls out there with some of the things they're tackling in a way that they've never tackled before in any other show. And then you watch it now and you're like, oh, no, this is pretty much capturing what's happening going on in the world. Oh, it's not as, it's not as ballsy as you originally thought, even though it is ballsy. Yeah.
In 30 years, if it came out that Damon Lindelof was a time traveler from the future, that makes sense. Like he would jump ahead like a year into the future and come back with new stories.
Almanac.
He's got the sports almanac and movies. There you go. He's got his size like, now take this and write this script word for word. Don't tell anyone where you got it.
Moonlight wins best picture. Trust me. Trust me.
Wait, Bruce Willis is an action hero? What? No, buddy. But and then as a fan of the book, I'm like, all right, it's not going. I just finished episode 2 last night. I'm like, all right, it's not. I would like it to tie in more. But then they drop in Ozymandias with the clones they do the play, but it's the play of John Osterman turning into Dr. Manhattan. I'm like, oh my God, it's brilliant. Like, I'm on board. I know I'm late to the party. I knew I was going to be late to the party, but I wanted to wait till I could watch it all in one sitting. So I think I'll probably burn through it in 2 days. Yeah, I sidetracked on that question, but the question is great. With my superhero stuff, I know there's a lot of people that love like Sandman. They love all that kind of stuff. It's not my cup of tea per se. There's a series called Global Frequency. Decades ago. They tried to make a pilot. Pilot didn't go. I think that would be great. What about you? I'm not.
Elseworlds, they did Gotham.
Elseworlds are different,
right, they did Gotham by Gaslight, which I loved. But there's another one that he does with Houdini, and I can't remember what that Elseworlds was. But I would love to see that one. That one, the Houdini one. I own both of them, but I can't remember the title right now. I don't want to go diving into my stuff.
You're right. I
would love to see that one. That would be fun as well to jump into.
The thing is too, it's like I know fans are clamoring for these to be made as live action, but I think that the DC animated has kind of taken that, like they did your Red Son, Superman Red Son recently, and
right.
Live action. Like I know people want a live action Kingdom Come. It just like that is the cost of that.
Yeah, it's an undertaking.
So like these animated films, they found their niche with these, and they really were like that Gotham by Gaslight was great. And the good thing about those, which I love, is they don't do verbatim. They don't say this is the script.
Right.
Like Hush is one of my favorite storylines of all time, and I knew it was going to come out. And I'm like, oh, this would be great, but they changed it up. They made it different. I've got the comic. I don't need a literal. I mean, you and I both agree, though. We'll agree on this. The Dark Knight Returns, their 2-part, is almost verbatim. But I think they even said during that, like with this one, we're doing the book. And
because people were too precious about it. They lose their minds.
Yeah, and I was just watching parts of that recently. Someone took a supercut of like Affleck's Batman, and they put the score from The Dark Knight Returns. It was kind of that synthy Blade Runner 80s vibe, and it just is so good. Yeah, it's really great.
I still wish they'd gotten Conroy instead of Peter Weller. Nothing against Peter Weller.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Like, yeah, let's talk about that. I'm not disagreeing with you because Peter Weller, when he does that rallying speech, it falls flat for me.
It does.
One of the moments where that was his Braveheart moment, and it just, I don't know if that was maybe the first thing he recorded, and he didn't find the voice till later, but it just doesn't work. But as far as Conroy, I'm not a fan of him doing the voice in every version of animation.
Okay.
I know that's a hot take. He is such an indelible part of that Batman the Animated Series, where when I hear him on like the Arkham games, it takes me out of the game because I can just picture what he looks like. I picture what he sounds like.
Right. I
mean, gosh, like I have the whole damn thing up here. All these, the whole collection of these things. Like that series is my, So in DC, they love to use him. So some versions they have like Jason O'Mara, but a lot of times that's their go-to. So I'm not 100% on board. Like if they were to do a Kingdom Come, put him in it.
Right.
Use him for the big stuff, like the Grail, the Holy Grail of Batman, like other stuff. Like, did you see Under the Red Hood?
Yes.
It was Bruce Greenwood. Bruce Greenwood was great.
I thought it was good too. Yeah.
And you being a voice actor, you've got to appreciate, like, because I remember you told me you had auditioned for, I think it was a Batman.
Yeah, I've auditioned for
years
Batman
ago.
4 times.
Yeah. So like, I want new voices. It's not, you don't need, I get with live action, you need a face to get the name, that I think Batman sells. I think you could put a great actor that no one's ever seen before in the role and it would still sell, especially with voice animation, man. Give these other voice actors a chance. I want to hear different Batmans. Like Dietrich Bader.
Yeah.
Great Batman. A completely different Batman, but he's a great Batman. So I love Conroy. He is my Batman. He is my voice that I hear when I hear Batman.
Right.
But I like other voices.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. We got another one. Let's see. Schmoedown, Michael Keaton, potential. Okay. Drunken Prayer. Okay. Andrew H says, "Hey, Mike, what were some of your favorite memories growing up as a kid, getting into film and into the comic book world? Favorite comics that you bought as a kid, TV shows you watched, and movies you got introduced to at a young age? Thanks." Yeah, there you go. What do you got?
What a great question.
It is a great question. Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, and you and we the fans, they give you so much crap about your age on the Schmoedown. It's like you and I think about a year apart.
Yeah,
we're like a year apart, my friend. I got the gray hair. You don't even have the gray hair. I got the gray hair coming in, buddy. We're the same age. But your path to film was a lot different than mine, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I came in. I remember Star Wars because it was '77, but I wasn't that old at that time. But like it played for 3 years in the theater. That thing played for years. Because I remember running down the aisleway, wanting to be a stormtrooper. That was very vivid in my memory. I have very vivid memories of Flash Gordon in the theater. Like I love that movie. On certain days, depending on what you get me, I'll take Flash Gordon over Star Wars 9 days out of 10. Some days. I remember going to the movie theater to see Empire Strikes Back. I was a drive-in. It was me and my brother. I remember the Star Treks very well, like Voyage Home. I remember I'm very much like I can put myself remember where I was because of the movies. I remember it was winter break, and I was with my grandmother. She took me to see Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. And I was using a pocket knife as my phaser as I was playing on the playground. It was Temple of Doom, 84. That was the movie that made me want to be an actor.
Wow.
It was Temple of Doom. I want to say it came out at the same time, Romancing the Stone.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you got that question in the Schmoedown, it was me and you. I want to say, and you guys were stuck because they were like, he's like, Ira, come back for me, Ira. And I thought they wanted the actor who played Ira, not Danny DeVito's character. I was like, oh, we got him. We got him. I was like, oh, no, wait. They want Danny DeVito's character. Rocha knows this. Oh, he's messing with us. Damn it. I'll come back for you. When? Soon.
Clarification. I wasn't. I just was like, I needed to be sure.
You knew it. You knew it. But he's like, Ira, come back for me soon. How soon? Very soon. Like, so it was that 1-2 punch of Romancing the Stone and Temple of Doom. That's what I was like, I want to do that when I grow up. I just did. It was just, And then, so, I mean, you were a kid of the 80s like me. It was like, I didn't, and it's kind of, I've kind of said this before, but I learned to read with comic books. It was like, that was my thing. I didn't play Lego. I didn't do Matchbox Tonka trucks. It was always, I just always had Star Wars or superheroes. I always had the Superpowers toys. I had the Superpower cartoon. I had the Spider-Man cartoon. It was, and and it was so funny. My brothers weren't into that. My brothers were into sports.
Right.
Like, it was weird. It was just this weird, I think, I don't know if that's where my brain went to. It was just always film. And I had such great parents that were never like, we don't want to expose you to this. I remember seeing Predator on VHS. I remember Red Dawn came on HBO one day, and we watched Red Dawn in the 80s. I'm trying to remember big movies like in the 80s. That, like, I remember my mom was on vacation in California, and she met Patrick Swayze filming Roadhouse. Like, Roadhouse has a great memory for me. Like, I remember that movie very well. Yeah, you know, we grew up in the 80s, man. We grew up in a time when cinema was different. It was, you know, you think about, I just 80s. Like, I recently watched the Lethal Weapon films and just how good they are. Die Hard and RoboCop. So I remember going to see RoboCop as a kid, sneaking into that theater, R-rated, RoboCop. Yeah, getting scared out of my mind with that guy. Help me! And then, you know, I ran home that day and I was making a RoboCop costume out of like gray felt, and it's always been a part of me. These building costumes and I took I was talking about it on Instagram today. I took my ping pong table in my garage and I built a scale model of Gotham City for my Batman action figures. It was always, I was always a kid. I was always a nerd kid. And, my parents always thought I was an introvert. I didn't like to socialize very much. It wasn't until drama in high school which kind of opened me up. So it's very, I guess it's all kind of secular for me, man. I didn't, and for your fan, the guy that asked that question, acting was always what I wanted to do. Creative, I never had, like, I came into my passion later in life. I've always been, you know, it's funny. We live in a toxic society of men aren't allowed to cry and men aren't allowed to show emotions. And I didn't have family that were ever into that. It was never, I just had a very good upbringing. I was very, very fortunate, that embraced the drama and acting side of me. And it's cool because it comes down to the Schoedown. We bring into it, you know, and the acting and being character and emotions. And like you're one of the most emotional characters in it. And it's because people see that. Yeah, and the cool thing for me is now I see fans and they come up to me at the live events with you, and you know, they say, it's one girl was like, it's so nice that I could show my kids that it's okay for a grown man to cry. Yeah, and so it all comes around, and it's always been who I am, and hopefully always will be who I am. I hope I answered that question.
I think you did. I think you did a damn good job.
Those are the questions, mate. Like, it's so funny because you and I are very similar on our upbringing with movies. But it's so funny because now I'm curious with you, Rocha, because we're of the same age, give or take a year.
Sure.
But your knowledge is so much more vast than me. I am very narrow-minded, and the Schmoedown has caused me to do this with my movies.
Right.
Because, like, you 10 times out of 10 will know more Westerns, Oscars, classics than I do. My window of focus is very much, I've had to broaden my focus, where you, being the same age as me, and so where does it's just, you're everywhere, but how did that, like, just, you didn't pick, like, for me, it was like superheroes, comic books, action films. Right. This is what I'm always going to watch.
Well, like my channel, Mike, I've always had many interests all the time. My mind is, like you said earlier, like you sitting down in one place, it would drive you insane. Listen, I drive literally insane half the time because I've got I've got a computer up or the TV on or my iPhone or my iPad or the Xbox. Like, I have to constantly be reading or learning or watching or consuming something. I can never just sit. She likes to go out and just read a book and sit in the sun. I would drive me insane after half an hour or 45 minutes. I'm not one of those people that goes into the woods to, you know, disconnect or detach. Fuck that. Like, I like to be plugged into everything and consume as much knowledge as possible. So film was always the number one thing, man. When I got into movies, I was taking 4 out of the 7 nights and I'd go right to the the video store after I'd finished my homework, and I would just rent 3 movies and I would watch 3 movies and I'd watch 3 movies and because I was such a massive nerd. I didn't do much until I was
senior year. You would just, sorry, but so you would just go to a video store, just take random things.
Yes, I would, because I would read
I wish I was like that.
Well,
I wish I was like that younger.
I would go to the bookstore and I would buy Roger Ebert's book, or I would buy Leonard Maltin's book. And I'd be like, what do they recommend that I watch? And this is before the internet, kids. Like,
exactly, before the internet.
Yeah. So I would highlight movies that they said I had, because I fell in love with movies at such a young age that I would just like be obsessed with it. And so I learned to drive, not because I could pick up a girl, but so I could drive to the video store without having my parents having to drive me to the video store. And so I would sit there and just check movies off and try to consume as much. And I've always loved movies, which is why when he presented the Schmoedown to me, I was like, fuck yeah, let me see how good I am at this, how much of my knowledge I can actually put into motion in this competition.
Yeah, that speaks to you then, and because people ask me in the Schmoedown, it's like, because you see people like you and Dan Merle, and the broad base of knowledge, and then I see people like Chance that are the Chance and the Oyamas, they're the young you. Yeah. They're not me. They're not me because my focus was very much like, and even to a detriment, I'll be like, let's say I got a night off, I'll pop in, a movie that I've seen 50 million times. I won't go on HBO Max and see some film that I've never seen before. And maybe that's who I am, and it's being a little stubborn, and I should do that because I've seen so many great movies from Shannon, who's like, Simple Favor, that movie, or Simple Plan. With the one with Blake Lively.
Yeah, that's Simple Favor. That's Simple Favor.
Yeah. So I was not even that's not something I would ever watch, but she's like, let's watch this. And 5 minutes in, I'm hooked. And I need to focus or broaden my horizons. Let's say broaden my horizons a bit about much. Because I'm very good with comic books about that. I've very much moved out of the cape and tights realm. And I've opened up in the past, I'd say 10 years to great, great comics that don't even mention superheroes. And just look at it as it's another form of medium to tell these great stories, comic books.
Where you have me is the fantasy world, right? Like I'm not big into the fantasy sci-fi stuff. So it's always like I have a cursory knowledge that I can survive, but for the most part, it takes an effort for me to study these things. So, and people,
on that note, it was kind of like, because people always ask me, like, let's say if there was never a Chance Ellison in Schmoedown, you are one of the people, I think, if we were a team, because of your
we'd be unstoppable
knowledge and then my knowledge, and we cover each other's weaknesses incredibly well. That's why I was like, it's interesting. But like, Chance is a young you. He's not a young me in the Schmoedown. He is a young you, because his knowledge, when he'll go off on classics and westerns, I'm like, what, dude? How are you 21 and you know that? But then I look at you and I'm like, that's how it started. That's what it was.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna deny what you're saying. I think Chance is his own person, and I want to give him his own, stand on his own. But I hear what you're saying, because when I watch him play, I go, this is the one. This is the one that, like, this is the second coming of me. And I when I watch him, I'm just like, this is how I would be playing at that age. This is how I would be acting at that age. And so when we play you guys, whenever the tag team, and maybe not the first time, but certainly the second and third time, Chance was the one I was watching all the time. And I knew I had to get in his head a little bit to have a shot at, like, kind of having winning these things, and so it's like he was the one that I was focused on. So
man, Ben Bateman gives you a lot of crap a lot of times about that, but like, I have no problem saying Chance is a stronger competitor than me. Absolutely. Absolutely. If the wheel goes a certain way, I might take him in singles. But he's a stronger player. He's got that knowledge like you have. So I'm just like, I have no problem saying that. I am man enough to admit that.
I'm the same way. Dan is absolutely a better player than I am, more knowledgeable than I am.
But the wheel goes your way, it's your game.
I could beat him. That's for sure.
That's the game.
If the wheel goes his way, he can beat me.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in some people to ask you questions live, Mike. And I'll get to the rest of the super chats and Streamlabs. Keep them coming. We're definitely going to answer all of them. And if you're a patron, you get first dibs, and that's part of how it goes. And if you're not a patron, Wiley here is one of the producers on the show. He will explain to you how you can come in. Wiley, I'm going to bring you in now. Do it, my man.
Okay, so guys, it's pretty simple. If you, like Rocha said, you guys get first dibs on the Patreon. Basically means they get a link until this moment now in the show, so they're already in the queue. Those people will come on first. How you guys get in is there'll simply be a StreamYard's link that you click on. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you guys need any help on it, just at Wiley Todd in chat, and I'll guide you through it. But also, just join the Patreon for first dibs and all that. So it's pretty simple. But any questions, just message me and I'll help you out. So there you go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wiley. Really appreciate that, my man. He does great work on the show. I can't thank him.
Look at that, man. Look at that. A whole organization going on here. I see behind the curtain now. I see how this happens.
It takes a village.
It does indeed, my friend. It does indeed. But hey, you guys are the only entertainment we got right now. That's what's awesome.
Trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, it's they always talk about entertainers aren't essential. Well, I beg to disagree. I would like to politely disagree because here now is like actors, podcasters, blah blah blah, this and that. Is like, yeah, when you're binge watching 10,000 hours of content right now, that's all podcasters.
Right.
I disagree. Artists are incredibly essential.
You know what? Respectfully disagree.
I disagree.
Bet you.
That's me.
Let me bring on Andrew G. He's one of my patrons here. He's getting first dibs. Andrew, what's going on, man? What's your question? I can't hear you, man.
Andrew, I think you're muted. Are you muted, Andrew?
Andrew, God damn it, Andrew.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Sorry.
There we go.
I didn't expect to be brought on first. I wasn't ready. What's going on?
How are you?
Good, man. How are you, Mike?
Doing good. Thank you.
Man, there's so many good conversation topics happening tonight. It's awesome. I keep writing down little notes, but I did come on. Like I would love to talk about Batman and stuff, but I'll be quick and ask the one question I had was I was watching the Watchmen director's cut tonight. Okay, and it's funny because you were talking about Snyder and Watchmen and stuff, and so I'm wondering because it was the only one that I could find, like the ultimate cut, which I don't really like, or I can't find the theatrical cut on Blu-ray, so I got the director's cut, and I was like, I don't know if I've seen this one, and I don't know if I like it. I think I like the theatrical cut more, and my question is, I guess, which version of Watchmen, if you like the movie, do you prefer the most? If you've seen them all.
So, yeah, I prefer the director's cut. I don't necessarily prefer the ultimate cut. I prefer the director's cut of Zack Snyder's Watchmen. That's the one I like the most. I don't like the first cut because I could tell that they cut it down and you don't see Zack's fully fleshed out voice as a director in the original cut. The director's cut, it really has way more of the behind the scenes, not behind, what am I trying to say? Way more of the storylines, way more of depth and complexity to the storylines that helps you like care about these characters so that when what happens to Rorschach happens at the end, it's legitimately a, oh, damn moment, and so that's what you prefer. And you know what? I interviewed Stephen McHattie a week or two ago that I dropped on the Outlaw Nation here, and he talked about working with Snyder on Watchmen. Of course, he also worked on him with 300, but he said there are whole scenes with him and Patrick Wilson that were cut out of old Night Owl and the current Night Owl, like talking about how he went about and did his things. There was like 30 minutes of footage, he said, that they didn't put in the movie, and it's might be sitting out there someday for people to consume. But he said, yeah, we shot so many things about it, about the Night Owl comparisons. So, so to me, I always go in favor of director's cut with Zack.
Interesting.
John, now I was always confused in this because you were always like, you called it, was this the movie you called the Citizen Kane of comic book movies, or were you against it?
I was against it initially as a film,
Gotcha.
and then when I saw the director's cut, begrudgingly, by the way, I just like with BVS, I will just like whatever reason I felt like that Watchmen movie, what was missing here?
Okay,
and I saw there was a director's cut, and then I watched the director, and I was like, oh, that's what was missing from the original cut. There's more here. There's more of the fleshing out of everyone's relationship. So that when those things start to happen, the last half hour of the movie, they carry way more emotional resonance.
Because all I remember online was the back and forth with you and other people about this. I was like, does Rocha like this movie or not? I can't tell. But like, I just watched that recently as well. And it's because there's so many different cuts. Like the one with the black freighter, I don't like.
I don't like that either.
And I think Snyder has even said that. He's like, I don't like this. I appreciate it that I was able to do it. I watched the one where I know the one scene that sticks out for me that makes the film version I like is where him and Rorschach go to the bar. Yeah. And they beat up the guys that went after the old Night Owl.
Yep.
Like that is, I think, is that the ultimate cut or the director's cut?
I think it's in both. Like, isn't the ultimate cut just the director's cut with the animated stuff?
Yeah. So then the director's cut is what I like. Yeah. Okay. And it's like little over 3 hours long. Yeah. I love that movie. I think.
Me too.
I think the handling of the getting rid of the big squid and making it Dr. Manhattan's fault is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that
I agree.
because in the book it works, a squid out of nowhere. I get it, but the fact they blame Manhattan's like, okay, yeah, what you did, I see, I get it, and it brings everyone back. Like that is brilliant. And like McHattie, like the fact that there's old, Night Owl stuff that we're not going to see. Like, have you guys either seen? It's on HBO Max right now. I never watched it. It's the Under the Red Hood. It's the book from the film, but they made a fictional version of it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's called Under the Red Hood. That's McHattie's characters.
Right.
Not Dan Dryberg. Oh, it's going to kill me. The original Night Owl. I can't think of his name now. Hollis Mason.
Mason.
It's his book they wrote, Under the Red Hood.
Oh shit!
But they filmed the book as a movie with the cast.
Right.
It's on HBO Max right now. It's called Under the Hood.
What is it? Animated or just say
No,
they're reading?
live action.
Oh,
What?
shit.
I haven't watched it, but I believe it's all the actors telling this story. So
watch this after
I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, it's called Under the Hood, and because I know McHattie's in it, and it might be like a half hour long, it might be an hour long, but maybe that's where some of the scenes are that he's talking about. But I haven't watched it. But I've been wanting to watch it.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks, Andrew. It's good to see you, brother.
You too,
Thanks,
man.
Andrew.
Take it easy.
Yeah, Christian Harloff calling me for some reason.
Oh no, he sees us on there. He's like, oh, what are those two doing? What are
Those
they
two
talking
idiots.
about? Am I getting a text? No, I'm not getting a text. All right, I'm sorry.
All right, Brendan, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Hello, hey,
How you doing, buddy?
doing all right.
Good, buddy.
So if I could just jump off of Andrew G's idea,
Okay.
I was thinking about the Watchmen series,
Yep.
Okay.
and I really, really enjoy it, and I think it's a unique take.
Yeah.
Instead of adapting it directly, or doing like a sequel. So my question is, A, did you like it? And B, what are some other unique adaptations that you might like to see of various properties down the line?
All right, Mike.
Okay. Well, yeah. Like I don't know if you had caught the earlier part of the show, but I had embarrassingly just started watching this, and I knew it was great. I knew every single person that I trust was raving about this show, and I wanted to binge it. I didn't have HBO at the time. I got HBO Max, and I finally sat down on 2 episodes in, and we were joking, John and I, because of how into the future that Damon Lindelof looked to see so for me as a fan, and I'm now as a first-time person watching this film, what's happening in America right now, like it speaks volumes of this TV show.
Yeah.
Like, imagine Alan Moore writing his Watchmen back in the 80s and his commentary on America. But he was doing it as it was happening. Lindelof, he was 4 months ahead of his time. Like, we were joking. We were joking. He went back in time, like Back to the Future with the Gray Sports Almanac. And Lindelof in the future came back and gave him this because I just watched last night the scene where they go to Nixonville, the cops. Yeah. And I mean, you talk about the scene with the cop, and they've got to unlock their gun and they have to say how much they're in danger. Like, that could happen, man. I mean, we're living this right now, and I'm late to the party, but I'm glad I'm late to the party because I'm enjoying it with all new eyes.
It gets even better.
It does.
That's what I hear. Like, and I was talking to John. I love the bits because I love the book so much, and I'm like, I want this to tie in more. I know it's the other part of the country and everything's in New York, but now we got Manhattan and we get all that stuff that's happening and the little piece they even do, like on the screen, it's a TV in the background. It's like Behind the Mask or something. It's like this TV show about like Hooded Justice and all those guys.
American Hero Story.
Yes, American Hero Story. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm on board.
You just wait, Mike.
I know. And I've had little things spoken.
It's such a unique take.
Yes.
The idea of saying, well, what happens 30 years in the future after the events of the graphic novel? It just, it's astonishing.
You know, it's funny to me because I would hope that Alan Moore watches this because I get where he's upset. He didn't want his stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. And then DC did the whole. It was like not. I think it was called Before Watchmen. It was a comic series.
Yeah.
It was like Rorschach, and they're good.
Yeah.
They're fun, but I could see that's what Alan Moore didn't want. But I hope he sees this and he goes, okay, you didn't touch my story. That exists. It's not affecting anything. It's not like we're getting Dan Dreiberg 30 years in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I love but the fact that they would use an owl ship.
Yeah.
Like it's
I like
they
that.
really he's so respect and the fact that I know they've said we're not doing another one. There's no reason. We did what we need to do. So they're
And I
not
think
milking the
that's
cow.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've only got 6 episodes left, so now I'm like, oh, I gotta stretch this out. I don't understand.
Thanks, Brennan.
All right,
Brennan,
no
real quick, but your other question, anything I want to adapt? I'm sorry. It's coming out now, buddy. It's called The Old Guard. It's going to be on Netflix next month.
Right.
It's a fantastic series. Mark Andreyko, I don't know if you're a fan of the Schmoedown, if you've heard of him, he recommended me because I wanted something that wasn't comic booky, and he rented this tale of their immortal warriors through time. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's called The Old Guard. It's coming out on Netflix the 10th of July. Yeah. Comic is phenomenal. Yeah. Comic is phenomenal, so I'm excited for that. Yeah, buddy. Old Guard.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
Lead in that one. So yeah, definitely give an eye for it. Thank you, dude. Good to see you,
Thanks,
my man.
buddy.
Good to see you.
I always love when he comes on. He's a good guy. Oh boy, here we go. We'll start a little bit early. We got the director, Alan Smithy. He is on.
Yo, Rocha and Kalinowski, what is up?
What's up,
How
brother?
are you?
Great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing
I got
wonderful.
some special news for you guys. I heard you guys talking about the old thing earlier in the show, the thing that's over now.
Yeah.
Which is that Zack Snyder had his shot and he blew it. And then Joss Whedon had his shot and he blew it too. So Warner Brothers recently reached out to guess whose agent, and we're going to get the Smithy cut. You know what I'm saying? And I got a whole new bad guy lineup.
Oh,
we're going to bring in Liam Neeson to play Gentleman Ghost and Oscar Isaac to play Crazy Quilt.
Oh, wow.
That is so much better than Darkseid. Come on.
You're shooting for the stars, aren't you, with that one, buddy? That sounds like a...
Oh, this is real. You'll hear about it tomorrow. There's a little delay, but I'm letting you guys in on the ground floor.
Thank you.
Can
man.
I say
Breaking
I got the
news.
exclusive then? Can I say I got the exclusive?
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Definitely.
If you want to run with
that, I actually exist, please. I do have a serious question here, a productive question, and there's a little math involved. It's kind of like gaming it a little bit.
Okay.
When I'm competing against Schmoedown matches, when you score yourself against a team's match and you're just a singles player, I'm giving myself 2 points for a right answer and 0 points for a wrong answer. Now, do you guys think that equates, that there's just like a 1-to-1 correlation? Because I'm not playing with another person that might blow it. You know what I mean?
That's why I think it doesn't correlate.
So I got
your round two. Your round two is fine. Your round two, you're
round
fine.
Two, your round two is okay, but your round one is not going to get you.
Buddy,
16 points or whatever, or possibly 18. No, you'd have to go. It's going to be the most you'll get is 9, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I'm starting with the Outlaw on that one, pal.
Yeah.
What if you give yourself like 1 point for every third answer or something like that? You know.
All right, fair enough.
All right,
sure.
Because I'm doing pretty well scoring myself the previous way. You know, I'm doing a lot of teams here. You know,
I'll bet you are.
Yeah.
Can I take that to Christian and say, hey, when I play a match, if Chance can't make the match, can I just get double points? Can I play that?
Well, you're not really getting double. You're just getting both. Well, you are. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So, you know.
I'll tell you a quick little thing. Back when the team action, team top 10 thing was like really, really knee deep in the actual anger between the four of us, I said to Christian, I said, I want you to put me in a match against those two fuckers. Just me.
You against the two of them.
Just me. I don't need Nost. Let's do this. Let me burn them to the ground. Just 1-on-2, because then that would just end any of the momentum of team action.
Let me tell you something, dude. It's so funny that you and I are so similar, because there was a period where you and Bateman were riling my chops. I was like, let me play them. I want the two of them in IG. The two of them in IG versus me. And then we're putting it all done. We're done with this crap.
Now they're best friend co-hosts, and they're on every other day. But since they're not in the same room, they're really like, I fucking hate Oh yeah, what's up, Rocha? How's it going?
No, we're always going to compete with each other, but we always
it's always competing. It's
game.
always.
It's the game.
But it's there's the respect that's there, and at the end of the day, we're friends. So it's
All
you know.
right.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's respect because otherwise I'd
absolutely.
be scared off, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, exactly. Well point.
Hey,
Well
just one more comment, you know.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys like the movie Barry Lyndon?
I hate that movie, man.
Ryan O'Neal?
Oh man, because I saw a movie with MIke Kalinowski doing some dueling, you know, some North Carolina style historical period film.
Where did you see that at?
It's on YouTube right now, man. It is good. I was gonna like hold my phone up to the screen and show it, but it's too small, you know, so it won't work.
With my terrible wig?
Dude, that movie is awesome. It's like a student film with like a massive crane, and you had green screen.
It's in Orlando. It's called Full Sail. It's their film school.
Oh, okay.
The budget they have for these films. I did one with them. It was a World War II. They built a tank.
Yeah.
They built a tank. It was awesome. Yeah, man. When I was starting out, that footage was gold for me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I actually like it. It's cool. There's some huge shots and some.
I'll
big
tell you,
awesome.
and some of those people I've done those films with. There's one buddy of mine who I did a film with at UCLA, USC, and we still are in touch. We're still great friends, and I joke he's the Spielberg to my Harrison Ford. He's gonna be out there one day, and I will always be there for his films. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, hey, thanks a lot for having me again, Rocha. You guys are the champions. I mean,
Thank you, buddy.
Champions on almost a lot, you know.
He's a true champion right now. He's a true champ.
There you go.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Mm-hmm. And
always keep it close.
I'm going to keep giving myself double points regardless of what you guys say. So anyway,
fair enough. Thanks, Alan. He's the best. All right, let me answer some more of these Streamlabs, and we're going to bring in Calvin to burn the show down. So just give me a second first. Let's run through these real quick, Mike, if we can. We got so many of them rolled through here.
Let's roll. Let's knock it out.
Okay. If Chris Taylor, we answered this one already, but he said, if we are getting Keaton, is there a possibility of getting Michelle Pfeiffer? I think both of us said hell yes.
We were like this.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. It's hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kyle Petrano. Kyle Petrano says, I can't wait to watch Mike show everyone how it's done because Mike knows how winning is done. Mike, you're the nicest guy in the Schmoedown. Thanks for everything you do.
Guys, thank you for every one of you guys that support people like Rocha and I. It's like there's no Schmoedown without you guys. And it's like people talk is like, I've got some things working right now I can't talk about, but the audience of the Schmoedown is what is kind of helping with it. It's this massive, you guys all know. You guys, you know, it's the fandom, and that's why I love it. I mean, that's what sucks right now is we're not doing the live events. I miss that.
I know.
I miss the live events.
You're right. DGMC, he's got two of them here. He said Rocha versus Dan in a retirement match would be amazing. No effing way. That's happening.
Hold on a second. Hold on. So he wants you guys, and the loser would retire?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
I don't do those retirement. I don't like those retirement matches. I don't like those. I agree. Dan will probably retire one day. You won't. You'll go into managing. You'll go into
I got one more year, then I gotta go.
So, all right. So what is it? Hold on. Let me look at my phone. It is the 23rd of June, 2020. And John Rocha just said that. We'll see what it is in a year. Because I'm going to say
2022. That's it. I'll retire.
Okay.
I can't compete with these young bucks anymore. DGMC says also a live action return of Joker with Keaton and Nicholson. Well, look, Nicholson is old. I mean, Michael Keaton's old, but Nicholson's even older.
Nicholson's bigger.
Yeah, bigger. And he hasn't acted in 10 years. He hasn't done a project in 10 years.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of unofficially retired. So my proposal was that you have just one scene.
Yours was great. What you tweeted out this morning was great. Yeah.
Did you like that with Arkham Asylum from Dark Knight Returns? And he's just kind of his face is just dead.
His face.
And then he just sees Batman. He sees Keaton as Batman or Bruce Wayne, and then all of a sudden
kind of he's let himself go. He's kind of diseased. Yeah. It's just like he looks up and turns to the thing and his eyebrow gets cocked. That's all you need. That's all you need. He's there. He's been in Arkham for so many years, and he's like, you're still doing it or something, something like that. Or he's walking the Flash through Arkham or something, and he just grabs him and he keeps walking him past the cell. He doesn't even have him stop. Like that's all you need.
That's all you need.
Yep. And he'll get 10 million and he'll get 10 points on the back end.
Yeah, and
his deal, the history of his deal with that Batman film is phenomenal.
Dude. It's as good as Robert Downey's was for the beginning.
But you know, with him, you've seen those interviews. He loved making that film.
Oh,
like you wouldn't think a guy like him would like it. You'd figure it'd be a Brando scenario, but no. The way he talks about that film, and he had Burton out riding horses on his ranch because that's how he tried to convince him to do it. And his love of that character in the film speaks volumes of me and my love of that man is in the role. Yep.
I just have to see him do the smile. Let's go.
Oh, that's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Done. That's all you need.
You're in. All right, let's move on to some Streamlabs here real quick. Kyle donated, said this is basically a future Schmoedown main event of a stadium show. Rocha and his immortality versus Mike and his fountain of youth. Tell me this match is bigger than Hulk versus The Rock, or Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, or Ali versus Foreman, or Batman versus Superman. What a match. Just imagine the trash talk. Yeah, true. If Mike and I ever met again, we'd have to, we've met already in the lower rounds of a tournament. I'd rather, if we met for a title, that would be like Hulk versus Thor.
We were coming off the teams matches, and it was like we were thrown into a tournament, and it was just like, and I knew because I had Janine that first round. I'm like, I got Janine, and then Rocha. I was like, Christ. And at the point, it was like I was focusing. God, I remember what? Like, I'm trying to think of that. Was that after the 3 bells? Like, because there was like 4 months. It was a blur for me, and it wasn't. Yeah. We had history, you and I, but it wasn't. It was just another match in this tournament to go. It was just we're just playing. So you're right. I think it needs to build and I agree. Same thing. I'm on the same page with that. Yep.
One more battle. Okay. One more battle.
Okay.
I mean, after the tag team tournament or tag team matchups as well. Well, that's gonna that's gonna be nasty. I don't know what's gonna happen. Andrew H. He donated somewhere. Says, Mike, what do you think of an all heel faction in the future? Think about it. John Rocha, Mike Kalinowski, Kevin Smets, Chance Ellis, and Robert Parker, all led by Kaiser and Shannon as co-managers. The league ain't ready. Mike,
you got to put Guy in there too, man.
You got to put Guy in there.
Come on, man. That guy, he's phenomenal. Like, what do you do if you have that? Then it's, what do you do? What do you do at that point?
You can't beat.
I throw Janine in there and put a little Janine in there. That's we wanted her on our. I wanted her on my team so bad, just because it pissed her off and have fun with her. I love that girl. I love her. I wanted her on my team so damn bad.
Yeah, she would have been fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Chris Taylor says, "Just give me a blue cowl Batman, a blue cowl Batman." I guess is what he's.
It's so funny you say that, buddy. Because for me, people always ask, like, what's your ideal Batman? Or you've seen it on screen?
Yeah,
I have not seen what I would say is my Batman yet.
Okay,
like, with everything I've seen, like the way Affleck fights in that warehouse scene. That's Batman.
Yeah.
I love the Keaton Gotham City. I like Val Kilmer's look as Bruce Wayne. But for me, like, if I had my quintessential Batman, it would be the Arkham games. Like you said, he wears the blue cowl. I was really hoping, and there was talk that Pattinson was going to be blue and gray.
Yeah.
But they didn't go that way. I mean, he's early in his career, so they're saying this is kind of like a prototype suit, and it might eventually get into a blue and gray.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I do want to see a blue cowl with Batman.
Yeah. Would be nice to see that once.
Yes, it would.
Ben Rayner says, big fan of both of you. Keaton news is amazing. Are you guys excited for Doom Patrol Season 2? I am so pumped. My favorite DC show for me. Yeah. Have you watched Season 1?
I watched Season 1. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because this is kind of like my comics and my movies. I'm very much, of all the stuff that DC has done, their live action, I like the Titans. And it's the most straightforward. Doom Patrol is their D-listers, crazy out there, and I love every episode I watch.
Right.
I wasn't a big. I mean, I thought I liked their take on Swamp Thing, but I'm not a Swamp Thing guy.
Right.
I like this kind of like the Titan stuff, but like I love Timothy Dalton. He's my guy. He's my James Bond.
Yeah.
So to see him back in there, I love that. But what they pull off every episode, I was like, it's great. It's fan, and I love that they're letting him go with it. I want DC to figure out DC Universe and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I know there's confusion. I know the HBO Max, and they don't know, and it's not everything is on there, and some of it is on the DC app. I love the DC app because it's all the comics.
Right.
They just need to figure it out. They need to figure it out, and I think they're working on it. I think Doom Patrol will be around for a while because it's something we don't have.
Yeah.
It's not kind of like the nice altogether CW stuff. It's like what Legends of Tomorrow wants to do, but with an R rating.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
puts it out there. Yeah.
I love it too. I enjoy Doom Patrol. And I credit Dorian. Dorian is the one who got me into it over there when I was at Collider. He's the one that's like, you got to watch the show. You, of all people.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Raven, Super Chat here, or Streamlab rather, he said, all this DC news is getting me excited. With both DC and Marvel entering the multiverse era, what's one thing, story-wise, you hope comes out of this direction from both properties? And do you think we'll hear some Marvel news soon? Thanks, guys. Great show. All right, Mike. With both DC and Marvel entering the multiverse era, what's one thing story-wise you hope comes out of this direction from both properties? What would you want to see?
Man,
it's a great question.
That's a great question. I'm trying to think. Like Marvel right now, to me, is so. It seems like, and a reset is not the right word because they're not resetting anything. But it sounds like it's like they're going back to ground zero, restarting and refreshing everything. I'm very excited for the Winter Soldier TV show. I cannot wait for that. I hope they kind of keep on their path.
Yeah.
I know they got shut down a little bit, but I think the talk was that they almost were done filming. So Marvel is exciting. Like what I love about Marvel is the fact that like they did Guardians of the Galaxy, and I grew up with comics, and I couldn't even tell you reading that comic. Yeah. And they made you love those characters. So like something like Immortals that I'm like, I never read the Immortals. It's Marvel. I'm sure it's going to be awesome, and I'm sure they're going to give us things that we don't expect. You know, so with DC, what am I excited for? Like, God, because they this Keaton thing. This is like, I'm trying to think of like storyline wise.
It opens the door.
They're kind of doing a Flashpoint.
Yeah,
you know, okay. Here's what I want. I want them to get Green Lantern right.
Yes,
I really do, man. I had to watch Green Lantern. I watched it once in the theaters, and Hal Jordan's probably one of my favorite characters. So I had to sit down and watch it because I knew for IG, I was like, I got to watch this again.
Yeah.
And I had such a sour taste in my mouth for a couple of days after that. I was like, wow, you really, really screwed up the character of Hal Jordan. Ryan Reynolds, you are not Hal Jordan at all. And to see him, what he does with Deadpool, you go like, oh, you were born to play this.
Yeah.
Even Deadpool, you watching him in X-Men Origins Wolverine. You're like, oh, there's the hints of it. You had it. You wanted to let go. You could tell you knew what you were doing there.
Yeah.
But Green Lantern, and it's so what you got to see this, Rocha. It's like, you get Martin Campbell, GoldenEye, Casino Royale, Mask of Zorro.
Of course. 3
phenomenal films. Yep. And it just shows if you have a filmmaker that doesn't have an affinity for the work, it's going to fall flat. And it just doesn't work. And I was like, that is such a – I mean, you think about what we're dealing with right now with race and cops and the Green Lantern Corps being intergalactic police officers.
As diverse as it comes,
and diverse and going to different worlds. And, you know, they're the authority. It's ripe. Right for what we are dealing with in this world, and it's I know there's talk of the TV show, and I'm sure it will all tie in. So for me, it's the Green Lantern stuff. I want that done right.
I agree with you, man. I couldn't.
That's right, man. It's so right. Yeah.
Let's see. Ohap Cap says, "Great show. I have no notes. Mike is an incredible guest, and Rocha is killing it. Excellent work, gentlemen. There you go."
Hold on. Does he give you notes? You get notes from this guy?
I don't know. I don't
I got no notes.
Does he give you notes? I don't have notes.
That's what I love to hear. No notes. All right, good.
It could be Brian Leonard masquerading as Ohap Cap. He loves to give notes after we all go see movies. Let's see. DGMC donated. He said, Mike, buy Rocha 20 cowboy hats and he'll team with you. Shit. He doesn't need to buy me any cowboy hats.
I don't buy him hats. He's got his own.
Exactly. And if that's ever a possibility, I would jump at that opportunity. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll tell you, because we're dropping all that character work right now. It's like there was a talk beginning of the season where Rocha was unhappy, and I was just like, oh man. And I remember it was at the draft, and I remember you came on stage doing that stuff, and I went to Shannon and I go to Christian. I was like, get Rocha with us. Yeah. Let us make this work somehow. Let's bring them together. It would have been awesome.
If Tom and Ben don't call me that night drunk.
And I'm in Saddle Ranch watching this all unfold, and I'm with Shannon going, oh, let's get him, let's take him.
Yeah,
awesome.
For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who maybe question, this is the actual truth. I was legitimately pissed. I know
you. I could tell when you're pissed.
Yeah, right. You know, I just go ballistic and I walked the fuck on out of a room, and I just was done with all of it. I called Lindley. I was like, come get me. She's like, I just dropped you off an hour ago. I was like, come get me. You taking me home? We're going to go get some barbecue because I need to get happy. I need to be happy about something.
Yeah.
And later on at night, Tom and Ben call me from the bar. Ben is like drunk. Tom is somewhat in the middle there. And they're both just like, what happened? What happened? I go, you know what happened. You guys made a deal. You and Ben, you and Tom, or I said, you and Tom, you made a deal so that you could be picked first. And then, screw Dan and I, and that's fucked up. And I was just really mad because I was like, we put in way more time. And I'm glad you finally won the title and you've been champion for 3 days. But the rest of us have been doing it for years. And for you to show that, and he was like, I'm sorry, that isn't what happened at all. And so he cleared it up for me, and so did Tom. And that kind of calmed me down.
I know.
Really,
I was upset.
but I was thinking it was either you or Kaiser. Like I was going to Corruption or Kaiser. It was there.
I mean, Christian probably would have steered you to Kaiser because they would have needed a singles player.
Right.
But I was just like, oh, get him, take him. Let's do this. Let's make the deals. Trade, throw it around.
I would
have to do. For me, it was more. It wasn't so much because I was with Chance as my partner, but I was like, just the storylines, and cut scenes and all that crap would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. My favorite chef's kiss.
Let's see. One more thing, Rocha. Oh yeah, Ohab Cap also said, "Hey Rocha, how great would Mike's butt be in the Batman and Robin bat suit?" I don't know.
I don't know where this thing with you and my ass came from, Rocha. I don't know where it came from, buddy.
Ass. I don't know.
Every time I'm walking around with my girlfriend, she's like, "Well, Rocha liked this shot of you." She'll take random pictures. Like, I gotta send this picture to Rocha. He'll love it. Like, why is my ass such a thing with John? It was back on Collider Live. It came up, and I was like, what?
I remember
my ass would look great in a Schumacher suit. You kidding me?
Sure it would.
That would look phenomenal.
R.I.P. R.I.P. What do we got here? Is this what it is? He said, thanks again for having me on, Rocha. Here's a link to Mike's Barry Lyndon wig movie.
God.
It's real? Oh,
Field of Honor. Field of Honor.
Look at that. Only 69 views. That's a crime. That is a fucking crime, ladies and gentlemen. 69 views? Oh, my God. Who are these people, dude? I've shot some of these movies way back when at Florida State. So, look, I have to take a picture. There's no way I'm not taking a picture of this. Oh, my God. Anyway, I'll bring this up and put it up in a second here. But all right, so that's I think that's what do we got here? We got another Streamlab or Super Chat. No, that was the one from Ryan Chandler. He brought it in. So, all right, those are all the Streamlab Super Chats for now. Keep sending them in. We got about 20 minutes left in the show. I got to bring in people live to talk to you, Mike, if that's all right. We got
Let's
3
do
people
it.
waiting. Calvin's about to burn this whole thing down. Calvin, what do you got, man? You figured out your audio?
I'm not burning. I'm not burning anything down.
All right, don't want to hear it. Okay.
I'm not burning anything down.
All right.
Is the audio all right?
Yeah, your audio's great. I love that you're not reverberating.
Hell
Perfect.
yeah, I think I fixed it, John. I think I
It
fixed
took you 3 months. It took you 3 months, but you
Anyway.
did it, brother.
It took a long time. I want to show Kalinowski.
Okay.
There you go.
This is the motion comic.
Yep.
Nice.
And this is the director's cut, your favorite.
Yes, it is, my friend.
There you go.
So yeah, I got that shit. And I do
Hey,
have the
you got it on lock. You got it locked down, pal.
I got the original comic somewhere here, but I also, because I forgot to show Rocha this 3 months ago.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got
What's that?
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Vendetta.
Vendetta, son.
Old Guy Fawkes,
I
man.
got it.
Where is he? Where is it? Bring it out. There it is.
Never far
There
away.
it is.
Never far away, guys.
There it
There it
is.
is.
Rocha, did you color in his goatee? Did
No,
you make that goatee a little longer there?
I wish.
All right.
Okay.
This one's from Eric Rogers. He made that.
Oh, that thing's awesome. I love that.
He gave it to me for my birthday.
I absolutely love that picture.
It was very nice of him. Yeah.
I've
Go ahead,
always
Cal.
seen that in the background. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's what it is, brother, man.
That's awesome. But I want to tell you, Kalinowski.
Okay, buddy.
Keep it civil. Keep it civil, Calvin.
I'm going to.
You tried to get in Smith's
I got
shit
the Queen of
this week.
Corruption right
It's
here.
civil.
I got the Queen of Corruption right here. If
You don't want to mess with her. man.
We're going off the rails here.
No, I'm not trying to get at you. I'm
All
just trying to tell you this.
Okay.
I wanted to say this to you because I know that you're a DC fan. I used to watch DC News when you and Roxy on DC News. I watched all that. But I want to tell you, I was 8 years old in 1989 and I saw Batman in the theater.
Oh yeah.
And that's what made me. That's when I started my fandom.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, buddy, that was a massive thing for all of us, buddy. You and me both. Yeah. I saw that movie 16 times.
Everybody lost their shit, son, when that happened. Everybody lost their shit. They had the symbol. People were fucking shaving.
Oh, remember that
symbol into their head and shit.
You couldn't buy the T-shirts anywhere. Everything was sold out. It was on everything. Yeah, buddy, you and me both. Crazy. Yep, great time. Great time.
That's when I watched that at 8 years old. That's when my whole fandom started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you and a lot of people, buddy.
That's when I started getting involved with the comics and everything, because I was like, Batman's awesome. and this Michael Keaton stuff, him coming back, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what I think, Kalinowski, and you might understand what I'm talking about. I think that they're going to do Beyond, Batman Beyond.
You think so?
And Michael Keaton will be the older Bruce Wayne, like he was in Batman Beyond. I think that's what they're.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree, my friend.
Could be fun. Could
be
a lot of fun.
It'd be great.
Oh, I was just rewatching that series on the DC Universe thing. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Huge. You talk about you becoming a fan of Batman with that movie. There's a ton of kids that grew up on that Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I know.
You know that's their Batman. For them, Terry McGinnis is their Batman, not a Bruce Wayne. So yeah,
which is bullshit, but I
know. Everyone's got their fandoms, buddy. Everyone's got their Batman.
I mean, I know. I get. But I wanted to tell the killer.
Okay.
Kowalski. I remember watching you walk out there, son. I always have to say this shit to people when I get on Rocha's show. I'm surprised Rocha even lets me come in. But
people love your show, man.
But I always have to tell it. I remember you, son. I remember when you came out on the scene. I remember that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
that. And I liked your well, I mean, I still do, apparently. But I liked your persona. You come out there with the suit on.
That's right, buddy.
That's right, KO.
That's right. I was inspired by the Outlaw himself, man. I was inspired.
You damn right. You damn right. And
I'll give credit where credit is due, buddy.
See, he's shaking his head because I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again.
Say it again.
I mean, he set the stage. Hey. You can't deny that.
I'm not denying anything, buddy.
I didn't say that you tried to deny, but I'm just saying you can't deny that.
He's talking.
That's why he's got a face on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I will say. I appreciate it, Calvin. You're a good man. I love you. Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna.
Thanks, Calvin.
Love you, man. Thank you, dude.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's that?
I gotta cut my thought here for a second.
Are you gonna cut a promo? No. What are you gonna do?
No, I'm not gonna.
You're in the presence of the great. You better cut a damn good promo if you're going to cut one.
I want to tell. I was trying to tell him a minute ago.
Yeah.
I like you, Kalinowski. I've watched it ever since. You know what I mean? And I like how you do, and I like what you do. And and you got a bad chick. You got
I do.
As a ride or die.
Rocha's got a bad chick too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All right, Calvin.
All right, that's it.
How do you baby mama and your daughter for me, Calvin? Thank you.
Hey, I will. Hey, wait a minute, Rocha, before you cut me out of here.
Yes.
Sure.
They've seen me on here, and they've seen that one where I talked about my baby mama.
Yeah.
And they're like that Rocha guy's all right.
Oh, that's very kind.
I know he's all right. That's why I followed him. Anyway. All right.
Tell him to come on next time. We'll have him on.
Oh God. That's scary.
I love it. There you go, Calvin. He's always good. I love when he comes on the show.
God, he's a great guy.
We got a couple. He is a character, that's for sure. DGMC said, need a Calvin/Roxy on-screen interaction before I die. Yeah, that is going to happen. Next time I put Roxy on, I'm sure Calvin
That's
will
a great
come
one.
on.
Yeah. Oh, God, that'd be great.
He used to call into Collider Live. Calvin was a character and a half when he did that. Let's see. Wiley Henry says, for the planet survival, who takes on the aliens for each belt? Teams 2. Woo.
Oh.
Woo.
Oh, buddy. Okay. Well, you're the current team's champ, so you're taking them on.
Me and Dan. All right.
Yeah, you're current team's champs. You got to do it.
I'll accept it.
Singles, Merle.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
I don't say Merle. I would defer to. Oh God, it depends on Smets' headspace.
What about Rachel? You don't defer to Rachel?
And IG? IG's tough because they've never played.
Right.
I've never seen them play each other. I would love for Rachel to come back on not even to compete again, but just to play him, because I know it's like I played Rachel three times we played. I know what she's like, and I know what I'm like. That could go. It could go either way with her and I. It could go either way. Smets, the last time I played, we went perfect, man. You know. God. Yeah, Smets is the belt holder. We got to go Smets. Okay. Got to go Smets on that. He's got and you put Damon Star Wars. There is no question on that. That's the only one I'm like. Yeah, it depends. Oh, the belts depends on who's got a good run, but Damon, his Star Wars. I mean, I even this year I dipped my toe. I was like, do I want to try Star Wars this year? And I watched one match. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do that one. And now with this tournament, I've been watching these things. Are you out of your damn mind?
Yeah. No shit.
Like, I could probably do a round, like a base level tournament. I'll take a couple of these guys.
Yeah.
And it would go to the end, and it'd be maybe by like 12 to 13 points. That's it. But man, I'm like, are you out of your damn mind? Because Laura's in our faction. Yep. Laura is just the best. I love this girl. Dude. And we helped her study. And it was me, Chance, and our new player that we've got in our faction that we picked up, a free agent, Adam Collins. Yeah. And the amount we're trying to trip up, and I'm in my notes, but I'm going, all right, this is deep. This is deep. They're not going to ask this in IG. This is Star Wars. And she's like, oh, this, and this. Oh, you mean with this, and this? And I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
She's insane. She is insane. I've got so much faith in her for this tournament. And if anyone could beat Damon, it's her. I'm not saying that because she's a faction mate. I saw this in her ability last year before she was part of our team. I was like, that's the girl that'll beat Damon. If it happens.
Exactly. And we'll see. I mean, like I want DiMolanta to win tomorrow as much as I love Molly and really support Molly being in this tournament. Yeah. I'd like DiMolanta to win and then get into that final at some point and then face Laura. A Laura DiMolanta match would just.
I know. You know, because I've been trying to get a straight answer. They've played before. Yes. And I think Laura beat her by like at the very end. It was like it came down to the last thing.
Laura beat him on a 5-pointer. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember I met him in Orlando, and he was so hungry. He was one of these kids. And he's like, he's like, are you going to get in Star Wars? I want to play you. I want to play you, Mike. I want to play you. He's like, then I want to beat you. And I was like, he was so hungry. I'm like, oh, this kid. I was like, I don't know if I want to do Star Wars because this kid's crazy. He's damn good. So I know he's hungry, and he's like a Smets right now. Where I beat Smets that first time, and Smets came back and spanked my ass, man. He spanked my ass.
That means there's a rubber match that could be in play.
I know, but we are not, because Matt lost my dance partner with Rachel, and now it's him and I. I'm in a new space now. The bar has been set, so the bar has been set with Smets. So with him and Laura, I know he's dying. I know he wants her. But she also knows what it takes, so that's gonna be a match. Hopefully, if they get to that, we'll see.
It'll be fun. We got here a real quick one. Haskell says 2 icons and awesome people. Now, can we get John's twin on at the same time? Mike, can you spook John again with the mask as you did on Chill to Action? Oh,
I can't because I crushed the match. I crushed that mask. Where were you? Was it Orlando?
No, it wasn't Orlando. It was another live event where you were playing.
I think it's there. I think I left it there. I don't have it. Someone asked me about it. They were going to come to a match in studio with it.
Oh wow!
They want, hey Mike, do you still have that mask? And I was like, I don't have it, guys. It's gone. Yeah, I think I lost that match. It wasn't against you, so I would have lost then.
It was Rachel. I think you were playing
Orlando?
Rachel. I think it was when you were playing Rachel.
Oh, then I was too excited to get the belt back. Yeah, that's in that theater somewhere probably. Or maybe a fan got it. See,
I remember. You came out with all kinds of things in my mask.
That's right. Yes, you're right, because we were at Comic-Con and I bought it at a booth there at Comic-Con. That's what it was. Yep. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, Comic-Con.
All right, we got 2 more people who are waiting to talk to us live real quick, Mike, before we wrap up.
Let's do it.
Malcolm, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. How's it going down there in New Zealand?
It's going pretty good. Just chilling, really. The question I do want to ask is, in either the Arrowverse or the movies, do you want to see them do their own take on the Dark Knight's Metal storyline they did a few weeks back, a few years ago?
I'm sorry, say that again. The Dark Knight what storyline?
The Dark Knight's Metal series with all the flashback.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I could. I mean, well, with the metal stuff, I'll be honest with you. I guess maybe it's my DC. I'm not a fan of the metal stuff, man, to be honest with you. I know what they're doing. I love Scott Snyder. I love his work. I think Scott Snyder is one of the best people to come into Batman. The metal kind of loses me a little bit. Now they're doing it. Now it's DC metal. Is that what they're doing now? It's like the newest one they're doing. Right. Where Superman and Wonder Woman are involved in it. It's just not my cup of tea. But that's what's great about comics, buddy. They're for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a science approach to it, right?
Yeah.
Malcolm, with the metals being the ones that connect the multiverses and stuff. So it's real like deep nerd stuff. And so not always easiest to gravitate to, but it
got me out there a little with the source wall and all that eventually and the different versions. Yeah, it's out there. It's not my thing. Not my thing.
Yep. And I mean, the last question I do have is, who do you want to see in the final of the Inner Geekdom tournament, Mike?
Oh, you want to see? I want myself and Chance.
Well, I predicted you were going to make it to the final, which is why you want to see on the other side.
Other side of the bracket. I want Chance. Are you kidding me? To have a Chance and me, like we talk about it all the time. Of course, I live with Shannon of Corruption, and we talk is like, how cool would that be? Because you've seen the matches now, and like they bring out managers, and Shannon and I are one of the only 2 that we live in the same house, so she has to stay in the other room during the match. Like she sets up her computer. She's not allowed to come in here. She's not allowed to help. Like because it's interesting because we're dealing with this very interesting thing. I'll let you know a little behind the scenes where during matches, if let's say Chance is at the table and Shannon's offside, I'm off there. I'll challenge, like I can go to Shannon and challenge that but Shannon does, like Shannon, a Kaiser who would normally have a Smets, they would normally not know to challenge things, whether it's the wording of a question or the answer. Whereas people like me, and that's what's great about your fans, like Rocha and the Outlaw and the FinSec Exchange and the Dungeon. Those guys show up for every match because you want that knowledge there. You want your team to call stuff out. So now we're doing it live. Shannon's not allowed to be here. There is no one else. So we keep her in the separate room. So it is fair. It's just me at the computer. It's Chance at his computer. We don't have those things. But we joke, if it's me and Chance, we're bringing her into it. We're just all going to sit here on screen. We're not taking anyone off. We're just going to have fun. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But no, I mean, he has a hard path. I have a hard path. It didn't look that way at the beginning with the brackets, but Alba was great in that play in. Zipper's playing great. We've got Hannah, who's got a fire up his ass against everybody. That kid's always been great.
Yeah.
Damon's destroying. So my bracket, which was supposed to be easy, is not very easy anymore.
Right.
So, but I would love it. If it's Chance and I, it's going to be awesome. Or if it's Parker, but people say he's unbeatable. What happens with the unbeatable? I've beaten the unbeatable. So
it's true. It's true.
What happens?
Yeah, I mean that's personally what I think the final's going to be, is you versus Parker. I mean, like big from the fan, like the fan leagues. I've seen what Parker can do. It's like he's just really tough to beat.
I'll tell you,
it's going to be a great match.
I hosted one of their fan league matches, asking questions, and that was my first experience meeting Robert Parker. Again, off camera, one of the nicest guys in the world, one of the sweetest kids. But watching him play, I'm like, oh crap! And I remember he was supposed to come in last year. Not the draft. He was supposed to play the year before, and I was like, "Oh God, I don't want this kid coming in. I just got the belt. He's gonna come in and take it from me." That's what I was thinking. I wasn't even worried about Smets at that point. I was just hearing Parker, so I had to deal with Smets. Now I've got Parker, so it's a whole other thing. But I'm trying to make Chance. We're trying to make Chance into another one of these powerhouses, and we'll see how he does. Fingers crossed.
Cool. My answer is the Barbarian. If he can find a way through that quagmire to face Kalinowski, I think Barbarian versus Kalinowski would be fantastic.
Barbarian I see this kid. I'm like, well, there's another triple threat. There we go.
Yeah.
We got another triple threat right now. He came out of nowhere. I'm curious how Dagnino knew about this guy and no one else at the draft knew about him. But that's what happens. That's what happens, and that's why the draft was great. This kid comes out, and I'm like, geez, what the hell? He was sitting there with knowing who this kid is. Yeah. And now I see him play. I'm like, oh, Christ, here's another triple threat. Right. Damn it.
Never know. And he's a hell of a study, so we'll see.
And again, a great guy.
Yes, absolutely. A very nice guy.
Nice
Thank
guy.
you, Malcolm. It's good to see you, man.
No, I see you.
Take care, buddy.
That's awesome. All right, let's bring in Tavishka Productions. What's up, dude? What's going down?
You're on What's going on, y'all? Y'all can hear me,
doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Hey, Mike. Yeah, so
buddy.
good to see you on here, man.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, I'm actually jealous of you and Rocha and having like 70 people like just storm the theater. Like in COVID times, I actually want to do that. I want to rent out a theater, just have my friends. We space out, we wear the mask, and then we still just talk the shit. But
I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
Wear your mask, motherfuckers. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So you were talking about you were writing for Netflix before. Was that right?
Writing? No, I know. I didn't. No. It's the show. If you were talking about the Old Guard.
Yeah, Old Guard.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't write that. No.
Okay.
No, I mentioned Mark Andreyko, who's a comic book writer.
Draco. Yeah.
Yeah, Andreyko. He, I was asking for a new comic that wasn't superheroes.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the Old Guard. I picked up the first trade paperback, fell in love with it. They've got a new series out right now. They're on issue 4 of 5. And I think it's going to be a trilogy of series, but the film is on Netflix. No, I don't write for Netflix. No, I'm not a writer. I'm not a movie writer.
I was going to say, like, hey, man, since you're
No.
Yeah, he wouldn't be here. He'd be making his money.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I asked that because I mean, like, my question is to you all. You're both kind of associated within the film industry.
Yeah.
You have your connections. You're able to go to the screenings and the reviews, etc. Here in Oklahoma, we are trying so hard to actually get kind of on the map as far as filming. I've been bugging the lieutenant governor and some of our state electives to actually pass something to where we can actually provide a little more tax incentive for companies. But another big part is like just working on the actual infrastructure, getting the equipment, getting the training, etc. But I mean, what's a creative way that you have known that worked as far as maybe like scouting locations or just getting a little bit of attention from some of these kind of smaller, because we got Quibi. We have Netflix. They work on some of the independents. So
I'll tell you, buddy, the best way, and you just said it, it's like if you build it, they will come, man. Yeah. It is the tax incentives. I grew up in Florida, and the Florida film industry tried to be a film industry for years. Yep. It was always Sylvester Stallone was trying to build a film studio there, and the industry, there was the talent was there. And from what I understand, it was always everyone was trying to undercut each other and sell each other out. And Hollywood was like, you know what? There's too much drama in there. We're not doing it. And then decades later, Georgia passed that tax incentive.
Yeah.
Florida has always tried to bring a tax incentive, and they burned through the money. 2010, they did Dolphin Tale and a revitalized Tampa.
Yeah.
And they burned through, I think they had $14 million in tax incentives. They burned through that in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to last them like 5. And when they came back to re-vote on it, they're like, no, you burned through this money. We're going to do another thing. And in that time, Louisiana was going to do it, and they screwed up big time with it. They blew everything. Katrina happened. But then Georgia learned from the mistakes and kept coming back. And and all the filmmakers, the base wasn't there, like you're saying with where you are. The people, I had stunt people, everyone I know, stunt performers, actors, crew members, they moved to Georgia, and that's where they lived. I know people from LA moved to Georgia. It's a little different for actors because they fly us in from wherever we are to go to Georgia. They hire a local for the co-star roles and stuff. So it's not really advantageous for me to do something like that. But if get the tax incentive, because Hollywood will go where the money is. They will go where that money is. Wherever they get the best deal, that's where they're going to go. Simple as that. And then people will come there for the film industry. So it's just working, working with your local governments. And I don't know how that involved and where the tax dollars come from, but Hollywood, they will go where the money is, where they get the best deal for their dollar. That's where they're going to film. They don't care what it is they're filming. They'll film there. I mean, look at Atlanta. They've built studios there. They've built, like, was it Pinewood Studios from England has built their own studio there. Marvel's built a studio because they keep, and then there was, then politics got involved in where they were going to try and rule against abortion and stuff. And all like Netflix did, like, you do that, we're leaving. And they're like, oh, no. Okay. We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. Keep your business here. So it's the dollar, pal. It's the dollar.
Yeah. Oh, well, and you have Tyler Perry as well.
Tyler Perry, absolutely.
Yeah. If you like non-union productions, I guess. Yeah. Go ahead,
yeah. That guy.
No, Rocha. What do you call Atlanta again? What was it called?
It's called Hot Atlanta.
Atlanta. You
I had to kind of string along in that one.
You tried.
That's what it's called, though. My aunt lives in Atlanta. My brother lived there for years, so I go to Atlanta every couple of years. But Atlanta, that's the nickname.
Yep. Yeah. Because with the political issue with Georgia, about that same time, Texas actually removed their tax incentive entirely.
Yeah.
Just because they have such a huge incentive as far as companies moving in, and I mean they're like one of the fastest growing states. Period. Yeah. But yeah, that's where we're like really trying to put pressure on them, as a state to try to like open it up a little bit, open up that purse, because we have so much oil and other like big industries. But really, I mean, we have 8 biomes, we have desert, we have mountains, we have everything, and it's like one state. Let's just get it done.
If it's all there, like that's the problem with LA. We don't have stuff like that, and that's where it travels. LA will always be the hub. I mean, I don't ever see it changing because so many people live here. I would love to not live here in LA. I would love to be able to pursue an acting career, live somewhere else, or buy a house. LA is just not it. But
we got cheap homes here in McCurtain County.
I know, man, dude. When I go visit my best friend in Texas, he's got a 5-story house. 5-bedroom, 2-story, huge backyard. I think he paid brand new like $230,000. Yeah, trust me, man. I know.
Yeah. That's got to be like this.
I'm sitting here. Look. I don't have a podcast studio. I got my heater in my background here.
Yeah.
I would love to have a second bedroom. I'd love to have a second bedroom, but I'm
touching the walls right now.
I love you, Rocha. You set up. Your setup is great, Rocha. You made it look great.
I made it work, man.
Does that picture fold down into a bed? Is that what that is? Murphy bed.
My back cave is right behind this. I just pulled it.
So talking about Oklahoma and Georgia. We talked about Watchmen earlier, of course, set in Tulsa, shot entirely in Georgia. And the naked eye doesn't know the difference.
Right.
But that's where like there's so much stuff that's set here that we're not getting. And we have a huge Native American population as well as the tribes and so much political clout now that I'm really hoping like in the next few years we can really kind of get things moving. We had Rebellious shot here. We're starting to get a little bit of it. Now we actually have Leonardo DiCaprio shooting a movie here.
Oh wow!
Under the Killing Flower, I believe.
Oh, is it the Scorsese one? Yeah.
Yeah, Scorsese. Yeah. So we're like trying to put all of our chips into that.
Bill, welcome the film community, and that's what I always see. You always hear the filmmakers talk afterwards, like, "Oh, we love shooting here because the community welcomed us." There are a lot of places like they hate shooting in New York because you're closed down streets, and those like New York, downtown LA, they don't need the film industry there. It's an inconvenience. It's like, oh, we got to close down these streets. We can't do our business, this and that. Well, communities like Atlanta welcome the film industry. Shut down downtown. Sure, shut down these streets.
Please give us money.
So just have your community be as welcoming as possible to those films. And the filmmakers are like, they have clout. They want to like, hey, I love so and so. I want to go back and shoot there. And then if you've got a good film incentive, it's golden.
Oh,
yeah. No, I did have a Streamlab. Oh, sorry, Rocha. Do you have something else?
Yeah, you did. You did. You want to read it? Which one did I miss? One?
I have a bad habit.
Sorry, I missed it. Let me read it.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
What is the better Queen theme song between Flash Gordon and Highlander?
Oh, are you kidding me? Is this even a question?
Go ahead, Mike.
Flash Gordon, are you out of your mind? Come on now.
Maybe.
The problem with that is,
here we are, born to be kings.
I know. The problem with this, it's a double-edged sword because I, for one, want a Flash Gordon remake so damn bad. Yeah. And I know that there was talk that Matthew Vaughn was going to do it, but then he saw Thor Ragnarok and he's like, oh, nope, can't do it now because they did it. And Taika Waititi was like, this is my Flash Gordon. This is my inspiration. And it's just everything about the movie is Flash Gordon. But how do you make a Flash Gordon movie and not have that song attached to it?
Oh my gosh.
But it brings up such memories of that movie. It's a double-edged sword, but that Flash Gordon song, Queen, that's it. Flash Gordon.
Yeah. I have to say I default to Flash because I played it when I came out to play Kalinowski. So I have to say I love that film.
Oh, you thought it was a nice little dig at me. Oh, Mike lost his 3 belts on that.
Well, it could be a generational deal too.
And just seeing how Oyama played in New York, I would have beat him.
Oh, you would have killed him.
I would have beat him in that match.
Yep.
Trust me,
I would have been triple belted if it wasn't for my hubris. my hubris
Yeah.
and bullshit lost me 3 belts.
I like that you throw an extra vowel in there. You hubris as opposed to your hubris.
You damn right, buddy.
Listen,
please. I'd have beat if Snyder hadn't rolled over on Bibiani. I'd have played. I don't know. I'd have beaten Bibbs. Watching him roll and show his belly against Bibbs drove me insane. I would have played Bibbs to the end.
You can't play the pass like that. But my God, it does not sit with me well. That
the what if will.
I know, buddy.
That would have been an incredible match, though.
Yeah,
I love Snyder. The character he brings, but I mean, he just lays down.
Sometimes he does.
A lot of matches, unfortunately.
Sometimes he does.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck.
He's awesome. I love when he comes on and talks
That's
to us.
Great question.
Yeah, he's always great. And he's always great when sending stuff in. We have 2 more here real quick, Mike, if you have like 5 minutes to.
Let's do it. Come on, man.
JJ _ Windward says, "Hey guys, great show tonight. I never gave the DCEU a fair shake before, but decided I would before they're off HBO Max. Just watched Man of Steel and BBS, and damn, those kicked ass. Glad to be
watching those now.
Yeah, he's just watching those now.
That's great, man. Get in there. Enjoy the hell out of that stuff.
You get in there, kid.
You get in there. Get off the bench. Get in there, kid. Suicide Squad is a little rough, but hey."
Yes.
Ayer's been talking, and my God, if they can if they get his cut out there, if this goes gangbusters, which it will, and he knows, he's like, I don't need a lot of money. It's all been done. I just got to re-edit this thing because they didn't take him off the film. They just recut it.
I would love to see David because I
love David Ayer. His films.
I've spent years
his films are
this
great.
guy is a goddamn good director.
Yeah,
he got fucked over here. I mean, watch End of Watch. Watch any of his other films.
Fury, End of Watch.
Even Sabotage is fucking brutal.
Yeah, Sabotage.
So you look at the situation. You go, there's a hard ass, badass movie that he wanted to do. Let him do his cut on HBO Max and be done with it once and for all.
I think that's
right.
I'm not saying no. I'm not gonna say no.
It's a different regime that cut it. It's a new regime now. So let Ayer have a shot at this thing. All right. Haskell 420 says with the Flashpoint movie, any chance of a Keanu Constantine cameo? By the way, try saying Keanu cameo 5 times fast. Very tough to do. Hugh, thanks for an awesome show, John. And thank you, Mike, for coming on. Please come back. Yes, definitely.
Anytime the Outlaw wants me, I'm always available. I got to say this, buddy. Have you seen Constantine?
I love Constantine.
You do the movie.
I do like it, man.
So I'm going to say this. I'm a
massive Constantine.
No, the book, Matt Ryan's whole run.
I always have Hellblazer, right? Always.
I love his animated. The animated, what they do with him on Justice League Dark is awesome.
It's great. Yep, agreed.
But I'm going to show my inner geekdom ass here for a second. I've never seen that movie up until a week ago.
Yeah,
I had to watch it. The story itself is awesome.
Yes.
But my God, does it fall flat visually? I'm like, you got Hell on Earth. You got like the guy who's like, okay, we're keeping sides. You can't come in. These people that come in, I'm going to deal with them and get them out. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go to his whole thing about he's dying. He knows he's going to hell. He knows they're down there going, come down here. Time to play. And he doesn't want to go down there, but he's cancer and he's dying. I'm like, it's brilliant. I think under a better director, and I don't think Constantine is right for the role. I mean, I don't think Keanu Reeves is right for the role. John Wick, Neo, I love him. I've always been a fan of his.
Yes.
He is just not right for that role. Put Matt Ryan in that script with a visual director, it's there. The script is great.
I hear you. I'm not a Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan is a PG version of the Constantine I would like to see.
Fair enough.
So that's why it holds me back. I did like Keanu's version of it. I get it's an American, so he's not American in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I get he's an American, but for me, I just felt like I thought he grabbed the struggle stronger than Matt Ryan ever did on the TV show or on Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah. That thing where he is carrying the weight of the fact that he tried to kill himself and then had to essentially make a deal with the devil to come back. So he carries that cross with everything he does. Yeah. I liked how Keanu carried that, but like I said, it's all subjective. Art is, and totally respect the fact that it doesn't work for you. I like it, and I would love to see him come back and do a cameo. But there's no way that's happening in any way, shape, or form. I think they'll throw a Matt Ryan cameo in before they'll throw a Reeves Constantine cameo in.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I don't know Matt Ryan because he's not a blonde. Normally they dye his hair.
Right,
it does look a little, and I know they're trying to get comic book accurate. It doesn't. That kind of always throws me off. It looks weird. I know it's petty. Yeah, the animated version. That character, I fell in love with him, and Matt Ryan voiced it. So maybe it's a little. And those are R-rated. They let him go a little bit further.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I am that Constantine is a character. We're moving forward with a Justice League Dark TV show. We're hearing. God, who was it attached? Yeah, oh God, it was an HBO Max. Was it J.J. Abrams' group?
Yeah, J.J. Bad Rope.
That is. Yeah, you put him in there. You put Dr. Fate, Swamp Thing, those guys in there. That's Demon. You do. Jason Blood. That's gold, man. Yeah, buddy.
I interviewed earlier this week Jason Norton. He's got a new movie coming out here, or James Norton rather. Norton. He's got a new movie coming out, and he is the odds-on favorite to be Bond. But I would love to see James's approach to playing Constantine. James would be a great choice for Constantine. So that would be fun too if you do a live action on-screen Constantine. One last super chat here. Ohab Cap says, fellas, I read the Duel of Fate script. I don't know that I'll ever watch Rise of the Skywalker again. Thoughts? All right.
And I've not read that script. I did watch those recently again for the IG. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Wow, it's a mess. It is it's a convenience for convenience for convenience.
Yep.
Plot jump. The knife with the thing, and it lines up, and I'm just like, oh. And I get it. JJ had that roadmap back 6 years ago, and they went on that journey, and then someone else took the map and said, not doing this map, I'm going over here. But now he's had the map, and he had to glue it all together to see, but pieces didn't fit up where they were. Yeah, and I love J.J. Abrams. Don't get me wrong. I want nothing more than him to do a Superman or something. I want him in the DC world. He's one of those directors like Snyder. Him and Snyder, those are some of the directors that I personally would kill to work with. I'd kill to work with them. J.J. Abrams, everything he's done, I've been a fan of. So this was just, I think, we got to fix what we have, and it doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
so I would love to maybe I'll read that script. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
But
Farrah, it said, let's get ready to talk Schmoedown podcast. It's not Shug, it's Ferris and Justin. Great to see you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Good to see you, Ferris and Justin Hamilton. And I think that's it for Streamlabs and Super Chat. So, wait, Wiley, are you in here? Wiley, do you want to say something, or are you gone? I think he's gone. All right. I guess let me switch out so people can see where to find you, my man. Let me bring up the right graphic. Is that it? Yeah, there we go.
That's it, buddy. Yeah, that's my pathetic new Twitter.
I love it. I almost put the other one.
And I can still see the other one. It's still there.
It's up. I actually tried to access it. It is up.
You can write to it. You can quote me on it. I'm just hoping once this world gets back to kind of normal, I can reach out to someone, or people said, hey, get your agent to call them, because a lot of times to get verified, actors have their agents say, hey, this is him. I'm hoping it's just one of oh yeah, we just got to unclick this. So but it's what it is, and that's what it is. Don't insult don't tell the current administration to go jump off a bridge, guys. That gets your Twitter frozen. It was suspended when it was unsuspended, but then it got locked. I don't know. It's frozen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels like maybe once and for all, the country's finally turning mostly against the situation.
Right. Twitter. Yeah.
We'll see if that lasts. We'll see. So we'll see. But Michael, thank you so much, man. Almost 2 hours and 20 minutes. I can't thank you enough for taking the time, my man.
Brother, anytime, man. You know, always, brother.
Always. Where can they find everything you're doing? Please plug everything. YouTube, anything you're going on, my man.
YouTube guy, YouTube. I'm actually starting to build. I don't know if I'm going to do a channel. I don't know, buddy. You guys in our world have got so much of this stuff, and I love. If I were to have something different, I would think about it and think about DC. DC is my thing, guys. DC Movie News it's at the Popcorn Talk Network and YouTube, iTunes. Friday 1 p.m. is usually when we go up. That's my thing. Me, Rocha Stryer, Adam Gertler, Johnny LaQuasta. I got something working. Schmoedown, Schmoedown's happening. IG tournament. I'm getting my feet into that. Going to be going. My first match is going to be soon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be doing well with that. And I got something I can't talk about right now. Something worked out that's going to be coming a little bit later. But show up for everybody. And when it does happen, I'll absolutely fill everyone out.
Nice, dude. Congratulations.
Hope it does work. That'd be great. Good thing that happened in this quarantine. So,
Nice. Well, guys, so the follow Mike and everything he does. Follow him on his Twitter and his Instagram. You know, he's a great guy. He loves interacting with you all and going back and forth with people. So it is a worthy follow. You will get an interactive experience with Mike Kalinowski. And Mike, thank you again, and good luck in the IG tournament.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll be watching definitely and seeing how far you go. And then
I'll just say that I was glad. I was very his article again. His letter to the fans is one of the reasons why Dan is one of the greatest. About him not going into IG. Yep. I was a little disappointed, but I was also a little relieved. Yeah. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to see him play, but I was like, I don't have to play him. All right. Because if he's anything like he is in every other league, it would have been another Smets, Parker, crazy guy. So I was like, but his letter was great. And that's why Dan's the best.
He's the GOAT.
That's why.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to let Mike go. Mike, thanks so much, dude. Feel free to drop out after I let you out of this thing.
All right, buddy.
Rest of the night. Please give my best to Shannon Barney, to the Queen of Corruption, and we'll next time you're on, we'll go dive more into your background and hear more about the things you've worked on, like this film here. We'll see more about you.
Oh God Almighty! Now, do you recognize who's with me there? Do you know who that is right next to me?
No, who is that?
That's my ex.
Oh,
Betsy.
Is that Betsy?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
There she is.
I hadn't thought about her in quite some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's married, and I think she's got a baby on the way now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's doing well. Yeah, we one of our dog. We had a dog together, and dog passed away several months ago. So we were talking a little bit. Yeah, and she's got a little baby on the way, so everything's going good with her. But that's that. But that was that video. God, that movie was 10 years ago now. Holy Christ!
Look at that.
Look at all that picture's never gonna go away. God, look at that terrible ass wig on me. Look at that fucking thing.
It's almost as bad as this picture for Mike. Oh, it's almost as bad. Oh!
With the water in the background. What am I doing? Look at you, dickhead. You, I can swear in this, right?
Yeah, of course.
Dickhead.
Don't worry, man. You're gonna get your chance to get taken off.
Nothing but love. I'll take that. You damn right I'm playing that fucking belt off.
I respect it. Come get it.
All right,
Come
buddy.
get it.
See you later, pal.
I'll see you. Take care. Well, there you go, man. We spent some over 2 hours with my man Mike Kalinowski, one of the best dudes on the planet. One of the guys I really enjoy talking about movies with, talking about life with, battling with in the Schmoedown, but also sometimes battling our opinions on films. But Mike is always a great conversation when you're sitting down. It's the things we miss the most about hanging out with each other, all of us, but certainly Mike and our crew of nerds and geeks, Vogel and Shannon over there on the Geek Buddies, all four of us driving down to Comic-Con, having great conversations while we're there. What's being dropped, what's not being dropped, what have you seen, what do you think of this trailer, going out for drinks afterwards every night and having great conversations about all that stuff. It's stuff we miss. And so hopefully we'll be back to things once they, kind of solve this thing and put it together. We'll be back together hanging out and either competing against each other or at least getting together and watching movies and having some fun conversations. So once again, please follow Mike at everything he does because he's a fun follow. And thank you all so much for watching us here live on the show. We got 146 likes. Really appreciate it. If you haven't liked the show, please swing your mouse over there and hit that like button, or swing that cursor and hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching us later on, not live, do the same thing, please. And leave comments. It's really important to leave comments. The more comments you leave, the more likes you leave, it raises the visibility of this particular show and this particular episode and my channel, the Outlaw Nation channel, for YouTube to notice and look at. So please do that. And if you haven't subscribed, please down there, hit that subscribe button. Got so much going on here at the Outlaw Nation channel. And also for those of you who are patrons, please subscribe to my Patreon. Is at www.patreon.com/John Rocha right there. See the multiple tiers. We do hangouts twice a week. We got one tomorrow night, doing a hangout on the Discord. Usually goes about an hour to an hour and a half. We talk about all kinds of things, movies, entertainment news, personal lives, all kinds of things are discussed there. And then on Fridays, I usually have now the on-camera one that I'll do on Zoom or Blue Jeans or WebEx, where we all get together on camera and have a fun conversation with each other about everything that's going on in our world as well. But also the new shows have started launching on the Patreon. We just dropped Ask the Outlaw, which is the monthly show that I'm doing for the patrons. It's for everybody to watch, but patrons $5 and up get to submit questions, and I pick out the best 8 questions to answer for the show, and that's every month. Of course, Criterion Corner already dropped, which I'll release tomorrow morning, where I break down the Criterion disc for My Darling Clementine, one of my favorite Westerns ever. Sit down for about 20, 23 minutes breaking down everything that's on the disc and why it's one you should enjoy and take a chance on yourself. And coming up, we've got the OK Corral. If you're a patron of the Outlaw Nation show and you don't know that the OK Corral is coming, get ready. It is coming. Sean Barito is the producer on that show. And what it is two patrons get selected, and those patrons are handed a topic ahead of time, but they're not told what side of the topic they're going to argue until the debate starts. But they prepare both sides of the argument to be ready to go when we start that debate. So that's another one that you can enjoy if you're a patron, enjoy being part of, but you will also get to watch here on the Outlaw Nation channel. So thank you all so much. Please get involved there. Follow me, subscribe to the channel. I think that's everything. Don't forget, late in about 35 minutes, I will be joining Cinema Bias. That's Video Drew and Alex Shawshak to talk Rosemary's Baby, which I'd never seen before until I watched it for this show. So it'll be fun conversation. So come and join me there too as I do that with them. All right, that's it for me. We'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of the Outlaw Nation Show. Wiley, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. So no post show tonight. I got to get going on other things. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Much love and be safe. Wear your mask. Stay healthy and come on back next week and let's have some fun. Take care until then.